There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
You're 6 minutes away from a live episode of Free Talk Live. Listen live at freetalklive.com.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,284. Silver at $14.58. And Bitcoin is trading around $7,828. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high-availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, inside information into the years-long child abuse saga involving Louisville Metropolitan Police Department officers is now being revealed. The Free Thought Project reports the city commissioned former U.S. Attorney Kerry Harvey to investigate the LMPD Explorers Program for Children to determine if sexual misconduct, abuse, and even rape were widespread with police officers involved in the program. Hardly an isolated incident. In total, a series of 7 lawsuits names more than 8 current or former LMPD officers. In a disturbing description to Fox News this week, one of the victims went into graphic detail about how he was abused and raped by the people he looked up to. 2 former LMPD officers have already been convicted of serious crimes. And the city wanted to know more about how police handled the complaints from parents and reports children were being groomed, propositioned, and even raped. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven, and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. Israel has embarked on a massive recruitment drive to support the country's online propaganda campaign, one day after its companies were exposed for spreading disinformation and meddling in the elections of several African, Asian, and Latin American countries. The new initiative, which would see the government funding pro-Israel groups overseas, was unveiled by Israel's Ministry of Strategic Affairs, a government arm set up to combat the global rise of pro-Palestinian activism and Israel's poor global image. The anti-media reports that by launching the initiative, Strategic Affairs Minister Gilad Erdan was quoted by the Times of Israel as saying, quote, "I'm proud to launch the first government program to support pro-Israel organizations and activists around the world," end quote. A war monitor has countered U.S. suspicions of a Syrian government chemical attack, as a senior American official called for a ceasefire amid heavy fighting in northwestern Syria. The anti-media reports at Washington late Tuesday said it had seen signs that forces loyal to Syrian President Bashar al-Assad may be using chemical weapons, including an alleged chlorine attack in the latest offensive, and warned that it would respond quickly and appropriately if that's proven. The attack had allegedly taken place in the northern mountains of the Latakia province, as fighting has flared up in northwestern Syria in recent weeks between pro-government forces and opposition militants. Opposition groups also accused government forces on Sunday of launching a chlorine gas attack on its fighters in the region. But the Syrian Observatory of Human Rights on Wednesday said it has not found any evidence of an attack. Meanwhile, White Helmets rescue volunteers, who have reported past chemical attacks in rebel-held areas of Syria, told AFP Wednesday they have no information about the purported gas attack. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the conscious resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Hundreds of exasperated Americans confirmed Thursday that, for fuck's sake, the article they just clicked on is actually a stupid video.
I clicked on the story thinking I'd be in and out of there in 30 seconds, but then that little buffering thing popped up and I was like, here we go.
Quickly hitting the mute button after being disoriented by a loud blast of noise from some stupid ad for Hotels.com, many of the deceived then scanned the webpage for some corresponding write-up so that they could simply read in peace, but reports indicated that would just be too convenient, wouldn't it?
Look, I don't want to watch a report or interview or panel discussion or whatever the hell this is. I just want to skim an article real quick and move on with my day. This is bullshit.
After seriously considering hitting the back button on their browsers, sources say the majority of readers decided to just let the video play out.
You know what? I'll watch the thing, and I'll probably watch the next video that automatically loads afterwards.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's how you get in touch with us. That's our toll-free number. That's 855-450-3733. I'm Chris. In studio, we also have
Ian.
And the nobody formerly known as Rich Paul.
Well, nobody. You're not a nobody, Rich. I don't want this to come across as being self-deprecating.
Well, no. I mean, we're all nobodies because it's a big club, but none of us are in it.
Well, you do have a point
as George Carlin puts it.
George Carlin, a brilliant man who I would vote for president. That would actually get me to the polls this time.
Really?
Otherwise, I may be voting for nobody.
Well, I'll be running for governor probably.
So nobody for governor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but that be sure to come out for the primary. That's the part that really counts.
Does it? It'll be fun. I think this whole nobody campaign will be interesting if nothing else. It'll give us something to talk about.
Well, the first step is to get through the probate court hearing to approve the name change. Until then,
yeah,
the fun is only in the jokes that we get to tell.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
But fortunately, we do get to tell those jokes every Thursday when I'm in studio with these two fine gentlemen.
We'll try to make sure they're new jokes.
Good, yeah. If you can keep your material fresh, Rich, nobody. That's all I care about. Something else I do care about is Julian Assange and how poorly he is being treated.
We knew this was coming.
We did. So initially, Julian Assange was finally removed from the embassy in London, where he is basically the Ecuadorian embassy, where he has been I don't know even how to put this. What's a good way?
House arrest.
Self-imposed house arrest. He knew that if he left that embassy, he would be arrested by the British officials who would likely turn him over to the U.S.
I think the technical term is sanctuary. That's what they call it when you do it in a church.
Yeah, that's one way of looking at it. Whatever it was, at least he wasn't being held in a prison.
Right.
So they pulled him out, and they did what governments do. They immediately threw him in a prison. And they have charged him with the only count that existed. I'm looking at these guys for a little bit of refresher here. The only charge the British actually brought was
failure to appear, basically.
Failure, yeah. Basically, he didn't show up for court hearings related to...
They sentenced him to a year over that.
Oh, they maxed it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So while he's been sitting there, the U.S. brought one single charge, only one charge against him, and that was basically conspiring with Private Manning, now known as Chelsea Manning, to crack a password.
This was the initial charge.
That's one single charge, right.
That's what made the headlines initially, and what we said on this show was there's probably going to be more coming.
And sadly there is. This comes to us from NBC News WikiLeaks.
The feds don't just bring one charge against somebody. They always have a bevy of them to hit you with, to overwhelm you, and to increase the likelihood that you're going to take a plea deal.
Right. And they didn't just add one. They added 17 new charges under the Espionage Act. We'll get the date on the Espionage Act, but it seems to me it was 1917 was when this law was enacted. It's a very old one. This is madness. This is a quote from WikiLeaks. This is madness. It is the end of national security journalism and the First Amendment.
But it's government. I mean, that's what government does, right?
Yeah.
It's madness.
It's madness to be expected.
It's humans forcing their viewpoint their way on other human beings through the threat of violence. I mean, that's crazy.
Isn't that an interesting point? And I know others talk about it enough on this show, but I don't always talk about it. Government's people. You want to call it whatever you want. You want to make it into something big and huge and powerful and all that. But in the end, it's people just like you and I who happen to decide that their opinions are very important, must be followed, and perhaps they'll enact some laws so that if somebody dares make it easier for whistleblowers to get a little press and get the stories out about what your government is doing wrong or is doing illegally, God forbid we got to shut him up. The Department of Justice announced 17 new charges against WikiLeaks founders Julian Assange on Thursday, including a virtually unprecedented move to charge him with publishing classified material, a move that could pose challenges to First Amendment protections. In a superseding indictment, a grand jury in Alexandria, Virginia, has accused Assange of breaking the law by inducing Army Private Chelsea Manning to send him classified documents and then publish material that included the names of confidential sources who provided information to American diplomats.
Does it say what inducements he offered? Because to induce somebody to do something is to pay them. Or
that's
somehow offer them value.
Right. And this is maybe we'll find out a little bit more. Again, this is an MSNBC or a NBC News article, which may not get into all the detail, but maybe we'll pull up the actual indictment and see.
Wouldn't
what
one
it
be
does.
able to induce by just simply informing and encouraging? Does it always have to be consideration? I don't know.
I don't know.
That's one of those words that I've never looked it up. I've just kind of learned its meaning from context. So I don't know. I think its most common usage is when you've hired somebody to do something.
Number one, according to dictionary.com, to lead or move by persuasion or influence. So
by persuasion or influence.
So you could persuade with, consideration, or you could persuade with just plain old good ideas and hey, you could help the free the world by releasing this information, Chelsea, or at the time Bradley.
Yeah, at the time. It's interesting.
By the way, just before you go on, for listeners who don't recall, Chelsea Manning's gone back to jail within the last couple of weeks because she refused to testify to the initial grand jury that she was told to testify to, spent something like 2 months in jail for refusing to do that, was released, but then immediately they impaneled another grand jury that then demanded her attendance as well, and so she's again refusing to participate. So presumably these 17 charges came from the first grand jury, and now they've got another grand jury that they want her to testify to. So they're still cooking here. They're still looking for more charges on which to it seems like, to bring Julian Assange.
Yeah, normally I would assert that the government is just charge stacking.
Of course.
But I don't know if that's actually the case. So the idea of charge stacking is okay, you got pulled over for speeding, but we're also going to charge you with reckless driving, and we're charge you with dangerous engagement of other vehicles. Whatever you can imagine, they'll come up with like 10 or 15 things to charge you with when you did one thing wrong. That's the idea of charge stacking. The idea is to get you to take a plea.
Are you feeling like they're not doing that here? Because it's obvious that's what they're doing here. They've got 17 charges already.
Right. One could look at it that way, or one could look at it more in the Ross Ulbricht view. It's like, we'll do whatever we have to do to make sure that guy never sees the light of day again.
I mean, it depends on how you're defining stacking, because I don't think they're necessarily stacking. I don't think these threats are idle.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to say, oh, okay, well, he didn't make a deal, so we're going to drop 15 and go with the other 2. I think they intend to press each and every one of these. But, you know, it's quite likely that they are going to go as big as they can on charging, because the biggest thing I think that Donald Trump is going to want to know is, what about Seth Rich?
Right.
Isn't that the guy that maybe was murdered for the Democratic email thing?
Yeah. Now let me give you the chronology here. Seth Rich. Well, first off, there was the release from WikiLeaks. About a week after that, Seth Rich was murdered in Washington, D.C. They never wrapped it up, and WikiLeaks immediately offered a reward of $20,000 for whoever killed him.
So that's interesting. We're going to talk more about WikiLeaks. We're going to talk more about the charges against Julian Assange, and maybe we'll get into some Seth Rich stuff. 855-450-FREE. This is Free Talk Live.
She's such a beautiful little puppy. I mean, we walk around the block and neighbors always say, her hair is so beautiful.
Healthy and shiny and glossy. DINOVITE.com.
Fatty acids, omega-3s, and omega-6s are great for healthy skin and soft, shiny coats.
I would really recommend people starting their puppies on Dinovite before they get into what I would call the misery index. Bad skin, bad ears, bad breath.
Because if they're getting all their vitamins, micronutrients, microbials from the beginning, then you're not going to run into the problems associated with the allergies,
grass, pollen, dust, dirt, fleas, ticks, you name it,
and the itching and shedding down the road.
Our vitamins and enzymes replace the nutrients cooked out of most commercial dog foods.
Dinovite for life.
This is Ed Lukasevic
and Cindy Lukasevic,
inviting you and your pets to Dinovite.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
I believe the crypto winter is over. That, if true, means that crypto prices may be on the rise and more news will be on the horizon. Get the latest and freshest crypto news at news.bitcoin.com. They have a real staff that does real reporting, not the rehash stuff you're getting from most crypto news outlets. I am proud and happy to say that news.bitcoin.com is my first stop for all news crypto related. News.bitcoin.com. Don't forget that you can get a free Bitcoin Cash wallet and free Bitcoin Cash at free.bitcoin.com. Free crypto at free.bitcoin.com. I can definitely say that I have found the best cryptocurrency wallet. Certainly the best named one. I'm Mark Edge, and I love the Edge wallet. I've been using it for the last few months. You can buy, sell, trade, and hold your cryptocurrency securely. I trust my holdings of all the major cryptocurrencies to Edge wallet, and you should too. No long phrases to memorize, just a username and password. Secure your freedom with Edge wallet. Get it now on Apple or Android in the App Store or at edge.app.
This is a special alert for business owners, consultants, coaches, folks planning retirement, entrepreneurs, and anyone who is saving and investing to build a financial future. You are likely aware that financial privacy for most people has recently died a miserable death. And let's face it, without privacy, there really is no security, is there? Bankrupt governments and banks on the verge of collapse are perhaps the biggest threat to your financial future today. The Lighthouse Law Club recognizes this and has been working diligently to provide safe, secure, and productive tools to ensure your privacy, your financial security, and your future financial well-being, despite the catastrophes which many people fear are looming ahead of us. Find out more with a variety of free videos on the YouTube channel for Lighthouse Law Club. Just search YouTube for Lighthouse Law Club and secure your future today.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media, and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, 855 450 free. That's free like freedom. Free as in no free lunch. But you can get on the radio because we're an open phone show. What that means is you bring up a topic. Doesn't matter if we're talking about it. We're going to bring up a couple things that we find interesting or compelling or at least to us. But you don't have to stick to that. Bring up whatever you like. And this is one of the few shows, perhaps the only show, at least in this time slot, where you can just do that. You can just talk about whatever you want. Got to keep it clean because we are on real radio stations. But we have been talking about Julian Assange and him being indicted with another whopping 17 counts, basically for allowing whistleblowers, people that see their government doing things that are either morally wrong or illegal, giving them a platform through WikiLeaks to make those things known. And, well, you're obviously an enemy of the state, and we've got to go after you. So after Chelsea Manning, Private Chelsea Manning, was earlier indicted, had to testify before a grand jury. She is refusing, I guess, to go to another grand jury. Ian, you were talking about that a little bit.
Chelsea Manning, yeah. So she was in jail because if you don't go to the grand jury, even though you think you have the freedom of not speaking in the United States, when a judge sends you a piece of paper demanding
the Fifth Amendment, Ian.
Yeah, you would think
that says you can't be forced to testify against yourself.
Yeah, they left out.
Everybody talks about it though, so it must be true, right? No.
Well, she wouldn't be there to testify against herself. She would be there to testify against Julian Assange. And so they are saying they can force you to do that, or at least they can try their darndest, in which case you essentially get thrown in jail for basically contempt of court, which is essentially a power that the Western court system judges have to put you in a jail cell for essentially as long as they want.
Yeah.
In this case, it's actually a little bit worse than typical contempt, because generally in contempt, if you were to go, for instance, here, if you got a parking ticket or something and you ended up challenging it and going to just a regular old district court here, and you told the judge to F off or was somehow upset the judge and he threw you in jail for contempt, they can put you in for more than 6 months, but they generally won't, because they then have to justify it to a panel of other judges. That's not to say that that's a really hard thing for them to do.
I bet.
But then generally they do want to avoid doing that, so they will only do it 6 months. In the case of the grand jury, it can be for the entirety of the grand jury's impaneling, which is up to, in this case, 18 months. And because she just got out of jail after the old grand jury had been finished with, they've just impaneled this new grand jury, and so therefore she can be there for the full 18-month span on this one.
Unbelievable.
And they're hoping to obviously pressure her into coughing up whatever testimony. Now, of course, if she were to go ahead and say, all right, I'll testify, and then she shows up in front of the grand jury, I'm not sure if there's anything that could prevent her from saying, I don't recall. Chelsea, when you spoke with Julian Assange on May 2nd of 2013 or whenever it was that they did he tell you blah? I don't recall. I don't recall that conversation.
Don't remember.
Yeah,
that's great advice, and that's what I think is something that people do when they act morally as opposed to act the way that the government wants them to act. We're going to go to Discord, where we've got John Bolton on the line. John, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hey, boys, how many of you would like to go to war with Iran for me?
No.
No, count me out.
Yeah.
Do it yourself, bro.
Kind of busy.
Anyways, so I was wondering, what did you guys think about Justin Amash saying he wants Trump impeached?
Well, this is not news. I mean, and I saw all the headlines today like it was, but he's been pretty clear that he felt that Trump has done things that are impeachable. And to be clear, the bar of impeachment, this lofty bar, if you're going to impeach someone, it's whatever Congress says the bar is. It can be anything. It can be a dress with some material on it that a president lied about.
Yeah, most people don't realize this, but to impeach somebody is equivalent to indicting them.
Yes.
And they then have to be tried in the Senate. And so we've never had a president impeached and removed. Nixon was not impeached. He resigned. Clinton was impeached, but he was acquitted in the Senate and he was not removed.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I don't know. I think it's always a political football whenever this thing comes up, and I think Nancy Pelosi is sort of she's just sort of like trying to judge which way she's going to come out looking better.
I thought it was an encouraging sign that he said that, mostly because it strengthens the theory that he may try to get the Libertarian nomination.
I just don't disagree with him. I mean, I'm sorry.
I don't disagree with him. I would say there's definitely probable cause on that. I still say there's no collusion.
I can't remember
with Russia, but there could be obstruction. I don't know.
Name a president that hasn't obstructed justice in some way.
Yeah.
And go back as long as you like. I'll sit here and wait.
Well, since their whole job is perpetuating government, then their job is obstruction of justice, as we define it.
Yeah. Go ahead, John.
Hello? Oh, me?
Yeah.
Hello, me?
If you had more, please.
But yeah, anyways, what would you guys think if Amash ended up running for the Libertarian nomination?
I would support him, and the reason that I would support him is because I want the Libertarian Party to be a mild introduction to libertarianism. I don't want them to put forward the whole story. I want them to just put out enough to get people hooked, and we'll suck them the rest of the way in.
Are you a supporter?
Yeah, I like Justin Amash. I'm a big fan of him.
Do you think the Republicans will bring up his Middle East background?
Oh, yeah. I think they already have.
Barely.
There was.
I saw more of that today.
What's his relationship to the Middle East?
Well, his parents were immigrants.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
He's Christian. But what happened was back in 2014, I think it was the one guy from California. I can't remember what his name was, the congressman guy. Nunes, Devin Nunes. He was like backing his primary challenger in 2014. And he said, and Devin Nunes called Amash because Amash said he didn't want to go to war with Syria. So he said because he was Palestinian and he didn't want to go to war in the Middle East, he was Al-Qaeda's best friend. And then Amash ended up winning the primary by double digits in his victory speech. Instead of saying, good game, great job, good thing for both of us, you ran a great race. Instead of doing that, he pretty much just mocked his whole opponent and started saying, I'm glad we could deliver another loss for you before you retired and stuff like that.
Too much. Thanks a lot, John Bolton. We appreciate the call. And I heard a new Middle Eastern name, Sununu. 855-450 free. This is Free Talk Live.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE. That's free as in freedom. 855-450-3733. Get on the air. Tell us what's on your mind. If you've never called into a radio show, this is the one to call into because you can talk about anything you like. And I can talk about anything I like within reason, but I'm going to just talk about Bitcoin.com. Bitcoin.com is your premier source for everything Bitcoin Cash related. Bitcoin.com can help you choose a Bitcoin Cash wallet, buy Bitcoin Cash, and show you where you can spend your Bitcoin Cash. I know a lot of us were spending it on pizza yesterday.
You better believe it. We had a great Bitcoin pizza day here in Keene.
That was delicious. And I got to say, Little Zoe's Pizza, no, they're not a sponsor. They just make some damn good pizza.
If I were doing a local radio show, though, I'd want them as a sponsor.
I would too.
Oh,
just to have the excuse to talk about them and get their pizza.
Oh, my God.
If you're going to Fork Fest this year, they told me they're probably going to be they're definitely going to be there for all of the Porcupine Freedom Festival doing pizza vending. But as I understand it, they're going to show up for at least a couple days of Fork Fest. So toward the end of Fork Fest, if you want to try Little Zoe's, if you're there, you'll get to.
And I might have heard something about some breakfast pizzas.
I did hear about that. I'm very excited to try whatever breakfast things they have.
Mm-hmm.
At Bitcoin.com, you can also read the latest news or engage with the community on the forums. So learn more about Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash at Bitcoin.com.
That's right.
Bitcoin.com.
And they're starting their local.bitcoin.com very, very soon. It's open for registrations right now, so you can create an account there if you want to be able to buy and sell Bitcoin Cash and do that with other people online. So that's going to be exciting.
I think that's a huge step. One of the earliest ways you could get Bitcoin, when there weren't a lot of ways that you could get Bitcoin, a lot of exchanges and things like that, was through local Bitcoins.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just this idea that you don't need a ton of people between you and your Bitcoin. Hook up with somebody, buy some Bitcoin, and you're done. And it sounds like the team at Bitcoin.com is going to try to do this the right way.
And if you don't want to hook up with them, you can still buy the Bitcoin.
Oh, can you? See, now we have these generational differences in how we use certain phrases. So
yeah, well, some of us are keeping up with the time.
Well, you little rapscallions can make fun of me all you like. But I remember...
You know we love you.
I know you do. And sometimes I even remember that you said that before when my memory is not failing me.
You're not that much older than Rich.
Oh, I am. I'm decades older. No, I got probably a decade.
No.
How old are you?
Old.
Okay.
No.
I'm 51.
Oh God, you are old.
Yeah.
No, I'm 55. So we're not that far apart.
Yeah.
Is that why you've recently shaved your head? Has this been a
Did I do it because I was 51?
Well, a lot of times, particular men will decide that, if the gray becomes too much, I'm just shaving that off, and now I just look like I'm bald.
I shaved my head in 2009, and I've just been a little bit sloppy in maintaining it.
Periodically, you choose that.
I tried to grow it back when I was in Ann Arbor, but just because, and Ann Arbor's a really liberal town, and I was getting mistaken for a skinhead. But with it gone on top, I just decided that having hair wasn't a good idea. I used to have hair down to my elbows.
Yeah, I've been that guy.
I may get a long hair wig one of these days.
There you go. We've been talking Julian Assange and these additional charges that the U.S. government has hit him with, 17 new charges, and I believe most of these were under the Espionage Act. We'll see if this story gets in it. The 17 counts were, this story comes to us from NBCnews.com, 17 counts were tacked onto a single count accusing Assange of conspiring with Manning to crack a Department of Defense password. Assange, who was taken out of an Ecuadorian embassy in London in April, is being held in a London jail for jumping bail on a sex charge and awaiting extradition.
The charge
to
that was
the
dropped,
United
by the way.
States. Yeah,
the sex charge.
That's an important thing. That was a Swedish charge and had been dangling out there for years,
so to speak. Yeah.
Yeah, no pun intended. It had been investigated, and they just didn't have a case. So I'm sorry if governments spend literally years.
Well, wasn't it based on two female accusers who just, purportedly made something up? I mean, there wasn't really anything else beyond what they had to say, right?
The only thing I know about those charges is what was in the movie about Assange, so I got nothing.
Well, there's also he published some text messages that implied very strongly that the sex was consensual.
Right.
For example, she texts somebody else that Julian didn't want to use a condom without saying, Julian raped me and didn't use a condom.
Right.
Now, if you get raped, the most remarkable thing about it is not the guy didn't use a condom.
And I don't.
You got raped.
Right. And I don't know if you would use a first name basis. I think it would be you. That
actually, I don't know how she
right.
referred to him because it was by initials in the article that I read, but I'm not sure if that was edited or if she actually used the initials JS.
Yeah. Trying to remember the name of that movie. There was a movie made, a biographical movie about Assange. Was it The Fifth Estate or something like that?
That sounds right. I think you might be right.
Yeah. But again, it was, the way it was portrayed there. Again, we're not going to go back to movies. But in this case, after he's been locked up in the Ecuadorian embassy for what ended up being close to a decade, then the U.S., they finally release him, and he is awaiting extradition to the United States. The government says Manning provided Assange and WikiLeaks with databases containing about 90,000 Afghan war-related significant activity reports, 400,000 Iraq war-related reports, 800 Guantanamo Bay detainee assessment briefs, and 250,000 U.S. Department of State cables.
I'd like to ask the government government goons, if you're not doing anything wrong, what do you got to hide?
Exactly. What's the big deal?
Why not put it all out there?
Yeah, put it all out there. If you didn't do anything wrong, then that's exactly what they tell us.
It is.
Yeah,
it's bunk when it comes to us because we're supposed to have a right to privacy, whereas the government, at least in theory, is supposed to be transparent.
Yeah, and not only is it supposed to be transparent, but in theory, the people control the government. The people decide what the government does. So if you don't know what government policy is, if you don't know which of the homicidal maniacs running the government are the worst homicidal maniacs in class, then how do you know who not to vote for?
Yeah, it's disgusting, and I think the first thing that I saw out of the original WikiLeaks private Manning stuff, I think it was probably what everybody saw, which was the helicopter footage of the basically
collateral murder, if you want to Google it. That's what it's called.
Yeah, collateral murder of AP reporters and a bunch of civilians, and they knew it. They talked about it. They joked about it on the radio transmissions. And for this, private originally Bradley Manning, now Chelsea Manning, spent years in jail before being released.
It was an isolated incident. Those things never happen.
Yes. And if you remember back to those times, the 250,000 Department of State cables were news in their own right, because there was stuff getting found in those left and right saying, what, we did that? Oh, I don't remember. Oh, they didn't. That's not the story they told us.
Yeah.
855-450-FREE. What do you think? Should Julian Assange face 17 additional charges? Is this how you deal with people that are trying to whistleblow? 855-450-FREE. This is Free Talk Live.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite.
Everything we tried failed except the Dynavite.
Pick up 2 bottles of Super Mega Fish Oil.
Get the 3rd bottle free. Packed with omega-3, DHA, and EPA fatty acids.
Super Mega is great for your dog's immune system, healthy skin, and soft, shiny fur.
Dogs love it. Try Super Omega Fish Oil.
Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynavite.com.
DINOVITE.com. Business owners, you want more customers? Accept cryptocurrencies. There's people all around you just waiting to spend money at your store. If only you would take it. I know, you've been waiting till someone else makes it easy. Well, good news. HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com adds Bitcoin to your point of sale. Totally free. Use the same equipment you already have, now with Bitcoin. And unlike credit cards, there's no fees. Let the guys at helpmetakebitcoin.com bring new customers to your store. helpmetakebitcoin.com.
Okay, so a watch is good, and some jewelry. Better grab some flowers, too.
Hey, what you doing?
Mother's Day, remember?
Oh, yeah.
So I'm making lists, gotta plan a trip to the store, then need to save all the receipts in case she wants to return.
You know there's an easier way, right?
I'm guessing you do?
Yes, and I'm going to show you the easy, quick way to shop for Mom and save 30% at sunshine-pillows.com.
Pillows. Great idea.
Oh, not just pillows. Sunshine-pillows.com has the best selection of custom heated neck wraps and heated neck pillows.
She always says she has stress.
And aches and pains, right? Look, they have hot and cold therapy products.
Ooh, it says we can buy any select combo up to $150 and get 30% off.
Yep, just use this promo code MOM30.
You know, for a little brother, you're pretty smart.
Get something for every mom on your list and save 30% when you spend up to $150 on any select combo. Now through Mother's Day only at sunshine-pillows.com. Use promo code MOM30. Sunshine-pillows.com. Your complete line of therapeutic pillows and pads.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
Now you can follow LRN.FM on the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, 855 450 free. That's free as in freedom, 855-450-3733. That's our toll-free number. You can also hit us up on Discord. Discord is a seriously cool app. Just download it either on your PC, your laptop, your phone, your tablet. Doesn't matter if it's got a microphone and you've got high-speed internet. You've got everything you need to connect to us and sound just like you're in the studio with us, and we really like it. You can find out more at discord.freetalklive.com. In studio, it's Chris.
I'm Ian.
And no Rich Paul.
Nope, Rich Paul.
Yeah,
I know. It's
I was gonna save some syllables, but now we've spent even more.
That's what happens. And we've been talking about Julian Assange and this idea. Well, of course, the government is going to go after. We have two theories here. That this is charge stacking, and they're trying to get him to take some sort of a plea.
They may not. I mean, they may just stack charges and not offer a plea.
I think that's going to be it. I think they're going to go away. I think they want him buried so deep he will never see sunlight again.
Well, I mean, I don't see any possibility that he's not going to undergo some kind of interrogation. So whether or not they're offering him a binding plea deal, I'm quite sure that there will be that they're going to have things that they want to know, and I don't think they're going to be deterred by the law in that.
Do you think there's an opportunity? Do you think there's a chance that Julian Assange may visit a few more countries on his way to the United States?
I
Do you
think
think
it's
they
quite
could rendition
possible.
him?
I think that's quite possible, and I also think that it's possible that that's why he's in a jail in England instead of a jail in the United States. Certainly, England would have dropped the misdemeanor had the U.S. State Department asked them to.
Sure.
So if he's in an English prison, and I think that that's where Trump wants him to be for unknown reasons. So, and it may well be because he can get away with more there.
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute. I mean, he's in a UK prison because that's where he's been for the last 6 years of his life, which is way before Trump.
Oh yeah, that was way before.
This investigation
Trump.
has likely been going on.
My only connection to Trump is that if Trump wanted him to be in the United States now, I doubt that
they still have
Britain
to go through
would have
extradition.
refused the request.
He will fight it, so they still have to go through sort of like how.
Okay, maybe they're just trying to hold on to him until the extradition fight is over.
Well, okay,
that
so
would make sense.
I'm not an attorney, but my understanding, if you look at the Kim.com situation, I don't know if you're familiar with Kim.com.
Oh yeah.
So the U.S. government would love to have him extradited, but he's been fighting it for the last however many years it's been since 2012 or 2011 or whenever it's been.
Is he in jail?
No.
Yeah, see, that's what I was thinking. Is maybe the reason that they actually
But he wasn't charged in New Zealand. He was charged in the UK.
No. I'm saying maybe the reason that he was charged in the UK was so that they could hold him rather than having him out on bail while he was doing his extradition here. It's a Mickey Mouse charge.
It is,
and the U.S. has much better things to hit him with. So I don't. I've always been like, why is England jailing this guy for a misdemeanor?
Yeah, and I'm sorry if you two countries, the U.S. and the U.K., have basically jointly for 20 years declared war on Middle Eastern countries. Do you think where Julian Assange happens to be is going to have any impact on that relationship? And if one side wants something to happen, then the other side is going to make it happen.
Likely, yes.
That hasn't been Snowden's experience.
Well,
he's in Russia.
Yeah,
he is in Russia.
That's a whole different ball of wax.
Well, people go to Russia. Julian Assange.
I imagine
might go to
Assange would
Russia.
want to if he, had
If
the
I
chance.
was Julian Assange, I would definitely be trying to get to Russia.
Right. But
You're in a jail cell though, so you can't.
Right.
And the UK and the US is not going to
That's
let
probably
that happen.
why he's in the jail cell, I guess.
I think you may be right about that, Rich, but I don't know if Trump necessarily was the person who's moving chess pieces here. I suspect all these things were in motion before he even sat down into office.
Yeah, I suspect they were. The only relation to that Trump has to it is he's the guy who could
stop it.
But I guess there's, my thought was get him out of jail there and hand him over to us. But if he still has the ability to fight extradition, then it makes sense they want to know where he is until that happens.
I hear you, and I'm with Ian on this. I just don't see Trump as like Trump's only conversations that he shared with anybody about WikiLeaks was he was all for him when they were going after Hillary.
Right. Sure.
But now that it's not really an issue, I just don't hear Trump bringing up much about it. And again, I think Julian Assange, decisions about Julian Assange's life they're deep state stuff. It's not politicians. It's people that have been in government forever who got bloody noses because you released 250,000 State Department cables. I would look more at that than anything else.
Well, and plus Trump doesn't want to look like he's against the military, right? He, even though he liked what WikiLeaks did for him, I mean, they didn't do it on his behalf, but against Hillary Clinton, basically, in the Democratic National Committee. He praised them for that. He appreciated that. However, that's not going to be enough to overturn the idea that Trump would be against the military if he was supporting Assange.
Well, not just that, but Trump favors the continuation of all of these policies.
Yes.
And Trump is looking at pardoning a war criminal. So he may legitimately be upset that war crimes were exposed because he does seem to like war criminals.
Wait, which war criminal is he going to pardon?
It was the guy who he was tasked to release a prisoner, and instead he took him out, made him strip naked, and killed him.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah.
So that was a few
military
weeks
guy?
ago.
Yes. In Iraq, he did this.
Wow.
The story continues. Again, this comes to us from NBCnews.com. The decision to charge Assange in connection with publishing secrets crosses an important line. The U.S. government has never successfully prosecuted anyone other than a government employee for disseminating unlawfully leaked classified information, according to University of Chicago law professor Jeffrey Stone, even though the Espionage Act has long been on the books. Can one of you guys Google that?
The Espionage Act?
Yeah, what year that thing came out.
It is
I want
an
to
old
think
one.
1917.
So, but what they're saying there is that this is unprecedented.
Yes.
Because normally you have to work for the government in order to be charged with espionage.
Yes, under the Espionage Act.
You would have to have access, legally to secretive documents and then release those secretive documents.
And then spill the beans.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a great point, Ian. I hadn't even really considered that. How can it be espionage when you're not even really privy to the secrets in the first place?
Well,
it's all hearsay for Julian Assange.
Okay, the Espionage Act of 1917.
Ding, ding, ding. I win.
Huh? Yep.
No, that was the only comment.
Is a United States federal law passed on June 15th, 1917, shortly after U.S. entry into World War I. It has been amended numerous times over the years. It was originally found in Title 50 of the U.S. Code under war, but is now found under the Title 18 crime.
I will also add that the Espionage Act has been repeatedly misused over that whole period of time.
How?
It's been used to railroad anybody that was unpopular politically. It's been used for things that had nothing to do with espionage. It's sort of like RICO. If you can't come up with some other way to get somebody out, you can always hit them with the Espionage Act because it's so broad. And it can cover anything.
Yeah, WikiLeaks has some who's who here. It says, among those charged with offenses under the act are German-American Socialist Congressman and newspaper editor Victor Berger, labor leader and five-time Socialist Party of America candidate Eugene Debs, anarchist Emma Goldman, and
these are the people charged
Berkman.
or convicted?
They were charged. I don't know if any of them were convicted. It's not saying. Former Watchtower Bible and Tract Society president Joseph Rutherford.
Wow.
Communist Julius and Ethel Rosenberg. Pentagon Papers whistleblower Daniel Ellsberg. Cablegate whistleblower Chelsea Manning.
Yeah, so what percentage of them were actually convicted under the Espionage Act? Because it's one thing to charge somebody. That's before you've proven your case. You bring charges when you haven't yet made a major case.
Yeah, that's not true, and it doesn't list which of them were convicted.
We're going to find out more. We'll dig and see what we can come up with, but our number's 855-450-FREE.
I got Bitcoin news coming up, too.
That's exciting.
Ransomware in Baltimore.
Well, that's too bad for Baltimore, but I've been to Baltimore. 855-450-FREE. This is Free Talk Live.
Jake was in big trouble with the IRS. He owed how much?
$92,000.
Ouch. The IRS left no room for Jake to breathe.
They put a lien on my house, took all the money out of my bank account, took money out of my paychecks. So it was a nightmare.
He needed help fast.
I figured that all these companies were the same until I called Federal Tax Management. You could just tell they knew what they were talking about. Right then and there, I felt like I had some hope.
Stop the liens, levies, and garnishments fast and qualify for one of several special IRS programs that could reduce or even eliminate your tax debt. So, how'd it go for Jake?
They did what they said they would do. They came through for me. I ended up saving an unbelievable amount. I was so jazzed. I was extremely happy.
If you owe more than $10,000 in back taxes, take Jake's advice.
Give Federal Tax Management a phone call. If they help me, they can help anybody.
Call the Federal Tax Management Hotline now. 800-503-8625. 800-503-8625. 800-503-8625.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,284, silver at $14.58, and Bitcoin is trading around $7,828. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, inside information into the years-long child abuse saga involving Louisville Metropolitan Police Department officers is now being revealed. The Free Thought Project reports the city commissioned former U.S. Attorney Kerry Harvey to investigate the LMPD Explorers Program for Children to determine if sexual misconduct, abuse, and even rape were widespread with police officers involved in the program. Hardly an isolated incident. In total, a series of 7 lawsuits names more than 8 current or former LMPD officers. In a disturbing description to Fox News this week, one of the victims went into graphic detail about how he was abused and raped by the people he looked up to. 2 former LMPD officers have already been convicted of serious crimes. And the city wanted to know more about how police handled the complaints from parents and reports children were being groomed, propositioned, and even raped. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. Israel has embarked on a massive recruitment drive to support the country's online propaganda campaign, one day after its companies were exposed for spreading disinformation and meddling in the elections of several African, Asian, and Latin American countries. The new initiative, which would see the government funding pro-Israel groups overseas, was unveiled by Israel's Ministry of Strategic Affairs, a government arm set up to combat the global rise of pro-Palestinian activism and Israel's poor global image. The anti-media reports that by launching the initiative, Strategic Affairs Minister Gilad Erdan was quoted by the Times of Israel as saying, quote, "I'm proud to launch the first government program to support pro-Israel organizations and activists around the world," end quote. A war monitor has countered U.S. suspicions of a Syrian government chemical attack, as a senior American official called for a ceasefire amid heavy fighting in northwestern Syria. The anti-media reports at Washington late Tuesday said it had seen signs that forces loyal to Syrian President Bashar al-Assad may be using chemical weapons, including an alleged chlorine attack in the latest offensive, and warned that it would respond quickly and appropriately if that's proven. The attack had allegedly taken place in the northern mountains of the Latakia province, as fighting has flared up in northwestern Syria in recent weeks between pro-government forces and opposition militants. Opposition groups also accused government forces on Sunday of launching a chlorine gas attack on its fighters in the region. But the Syrian Observatory of Human Rights on Wednesday said it has not found any evidence of an attack. Meanwhile, White Helmets rescue volunteers, who have reported past chemical attacks in rebel-held areas of Syria, told AFP Wednesday they have no information about the purported gas attack. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Like many young inner-city students, Chicago area high school sophomore Brandy Perkins struggles every day to motivate her teachers. The frustrated 16-year-old talked to Onion reporters this morning to discuss the challenges she faces in reaching out to her underperforming educators.
Connecting with the teachers gets harder and harder every year. We all come in every morning eager to learn, but most of the teachers just seem completely uninterested in education. One of my teachers, Miss Manley, has been particularly hard to work with. She was quiet at first, but she showed some potential. I thought maybe she just needed a little time to come out of her shell, but as the weeks went by, she just sat there listlessly at her desk, never talking or participating. It just makes you feel so helpless.
For more on this story, check this week's Onion Review.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, 855, 450 free. In hour number 2, we do 3 hours of radio for you every night, every day of the year, 365 days. There might be 1 or 2 where we do something remote, but we're here, and we are here anxious to hear from you and hear what's on your mind. And it's been a good start to the year for Free Talk Live. First of all, we crossed 200 active radio stations that we're on across the United States. That's true. That was big news. And we may have some more news coming up, more of a trade thing, but it's still important news, and I think they'll be talking about that.
Yep.
Trade
That's about all you can say, I think, at this point.
Is that all? Could you tell I was dancing around that, looking at you going, can I talk about that? Well, I think it's big news.
I think Michael Hampton found that before it was released, so I don't think we should talk about it.
I did notice that. So there's more good news coming from Free Talk Live. And here's good news if you are debating cryptocurrencies. If you have heard about the dramatic rise in the value of Bitcoin, and when Bitcoin goes up, it kind of drags up a lot of other cryptocurrencies. And this is the time of year where I accept cryptocurrency in my business, and we also have a vending machine as part of Bitcoin Embassy, New Hampshire. But you got to have a place to keep it. You got to have a secure place you can keep your cryptocurrencies, and many of us recommend the Edge Wallet. Edge Wallet is iOS and Android compatible. You can load it right on your phone. What I like about Edge Wallet is you can basically do a full cryptographic backup of your private keys, and I don't want to get into the weeds on this, but it means you're keeping it really secure just by using a username and password, and that's kind of slick. You can use them to buy, sell, trade, and secure your cryptocurrencies. It is user-controlled, which means you actually own your money. There is support built in for Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, tokens, Monero, Ripple, Stellar, many, many more. This has been built by a veteran team that's been building crypto wallets since 2014. Their tagline is securing your freedom, and that's important to us too. You can find out more at edge.app. That's edge.app.
I used my Edge wallet today to buy my breakfast.
Did you
here in
really?
Keene. Yeah.
I ended
at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
That's the weird thing. People are like, I talk to people and they're like, well, I have some cryptocurrency, but I've never actually spent it. And I'm like, I just, well, they've never been anywhere in real life that
where
actually
they could spend
accepted it. And here in Keene, New Hampshire, where the show is broadcast from,
you want pizza, you want hot dogs, you want burgers, you want Indian food, you want beer, you want liquor.
Yesterday, after leaving the Bitcoin, we have a cryptocurrency meetup, and we all had some wonderful. And you got to get them as a sponsor of the show, Ian, because I just want to talk about.
They're not going to pay to broadcast
just because Zoe's Pizza is terrific.
It just wouldn't be the best advertising for them. I'm
won't
afraid.
be. I recognize that, but it will give me an opportunity to talk about Zoe's Pizza every day.
Maybe we can do a joint ad between Shire Society and Zoe's Pizza. Move to Keene and go to Zoe's,
or have a joint and go to Zoe's. Either way is fine.
There you go.
I think they're good with it. But after leaving there, I realized that Colleen, my girlfriend, my lovely girlfriend, had asked me to pick something else up. And so I realized once I got to the Bitcoin meetup, it was no big deal because they accept crypto. All I had was my phone. I didn't have a leather wallet with actual money or cards in it. So I was good for lunch. And then I realized that I got to make another stop, and I don't have my wallet. Well, I'm going to Corner News. It's no big deal because they accept Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash and Dash and other cryptocurrencies too. It's like if I really just wanted to spend a day buying things that I will use, maybe not everything I need, but I can bounce around Keene. I could definitely have all 3 meals. And
yes, you could.
And do some other stuff.
This is life in the crypto mecca.
Show up at my door with some crypto. I'll cook you lunch.
But what really needs to happen, I mean, for pizza, at least as far as that goes, is there needs to be a major pizza chain that comes on board with cryptocurrency on their online payments option. Something like a Domino's or whatever would be great. I mean, we just saw in the news today that AT&T, the wireless company, AT&T is now accepting Bitcoin and presumably Bitcoin Cash as payment for its online payment system, according to a press release they put out. They've brought on BitPay, and longtime listeners will remember BitPay, even as far back as I think 2013 when we interviewed them from
way early.
We interviewed the CEO of BitPay way back when they were just getting off the ground at a Bitcoin conference that happened out in San Jose.
I remember in 2013, one of my other businesses that I started up, I was like, I got to figure out how to accept Bitcoin, and BitPay was the only game in town.
They're a major
first.
player still.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as like if you see a big company online taking Bitcoin or Bitcoin Cash, there's a good chance they're using BitPay's platform for doing that. The telecom company wrote in their press release, this is Kevin McDorman, the vice president of AT&T Communications Finance Business Operations. He said, quote, "We're always looking for ways to improve and expand our services. We have customers who use cryptocurrency, and we are happy that we can offer them a way to pay their bills with the method that they prefer." And I remember hearing years ago, and I don't know if it's still true, but I heard Dish Network was taking cryptocurrency.
Yeah, and there are other ways that you can accept payments, like BitRefill. That's one that's on the Bitcoin side. So you can buy prepaid phone cards and lots of things like that with cryptocurrency.
And where you can't do that kind of thing, you have business opportunities because you have people who have crypto. For example, you might go down to Walmart, buy 20 cheap straight talk phones along with airtime and sell those over the internet for Bitcoin. Well, then the person gets a throwdown phone that he's not on camera buying it. It's not on his credit card. It's actually disconnected from him, and it probably wasn't even purchased in a state that he's been to recently. Right. So, there are 1,000 different little business opportunities with Bitcoin.
Absolutely. There have been other things, and we were talking a little bit about pizza, but there is still, I just had to pull them up, make sure they were still doing it. But LN.pizza allows you to use Bitcoin's Lightning Network to buy pizza from Domino's. So we've done
it's kind of like an intermediary. Basically.
Yeah. So there's a lot of opportunities like that. You see a service that is not being offered with cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
You come up with some interface between their website and
like
that.
Purse.
See, that's interesting.
Exactly.
SaveAtPurse.com.
That's a good point,
But
too.
the problem if it's a Lightning node, I don't know. Does the Lightning node have to pay the same kind of fees as the regular? Because the fees are getting crazy.
No.
Yeah, just the other day, it was over $2 to send a Bitcoin transaction.
Over $3 at a point in time in the last day. It hit over $3. But with Lightning Node,
wow,
the way Lightning Network works, it's
when it works. I've heard it's a little buggy.
Tell me.
I don't know, man.
Tell
I've never
me,
tried
man.
it myself. I've only talked to people who've had bad experiences with it.
So, Ian, you're a guy who talks about crypto let me rephrase that. Every single day of your life,
Right.
and you have never once, just out of curiosity, loaded up a Lightning Network
I loaded
to
the
try it
wallet
out.
at one point, but I just never got around to doing anything with it.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, okay. What are you like? Would
He's a
I be
Lightning guy.
using Lightning if I did business with you?
Sure, come to our store. You can pay
Okay.
Lightning with Lightning Network, and you'll pay like virtually no fee. As the phrase
Except for
goes.
the fee that you spend to send your thing into the network, right? Your amount.
What you do if you have to load up a wallet, and that's a transaction, whether you're using Bitcoin or Bitcoin Cash, there is always some small transaction or large transaction in the case of Bitcoin lately.
You mean a fee? There's a fee.
Yeah, you'll do that. But the nice thing about Lightning Network is after I've loaded up my, say, $100 on there, I could do 100 transactions and pay no fee on any of those. So you're amortizing your fees across many, many, many transactions. $855, $450 free. Maybe I'll try to convince these guys, but it won't work. $855, $450 free. This is Free Talk Live.
Are you concerned that the values that made America great are no longer taught in schools? Well, I am, so I got my son the Tuttle Twins children's book series.
My name is Jack, and I'm 11, and I just finished the Tuttle Twins series. It taught me about liberty, free market economics, and entrepreneurship.
Give all the young people in your life a chance at reason and clear thought, because they're not going to get it at school. There are 9 books in the series, and each one teaches a set of ideas that children aren't getting elsewhere. Go to TuttleTwins.com and use coupon code FTL to get 40% off. That's TuttleTwins.com. I believe the crypto winter is over. That, if true, means that crypto prices may be on the rise and more news will be on the horizon. Get the latest and freshest crypto news at news.bitcoin.com. They have a real staff that does real reporting, not the rehashed stuff you're getting from most crypto news outlets. I am proud and happy to say that news.bitcoin.com is my first stop for all news crypto related. News.bitcoin.com. Don't forget that you can get a free Bitcoin Cash wallet and free Bitcoin Cash at free.bitcoin.com. Free crypto at free.bitcoin.com.
This is a special alert for business owners, consultants, coaches, folks planning retirement, entrepreneurs, and anyone who is saving and investing to build a financial future. You are likely aware that financial privacy for most people has recently died a miserable death. And let's face it, without privacy, there really is no security, is there? Bankrupt governments and banks on the verge of collapse are perhaps the biggest threat to your financial future today. The Lighthouse Law Club recognizes this and has been working diligently to provide safe, secure, and productive tools to ensure your privacy, your financial security, and your future financial well-being, despite the catastrophes which many people fear are looming ahead of us. Find out more with a variety of free videos on the YouTube channel for Lighthouse Law Club. Just search YouTube for Lighthouse Law Club and secure your future today.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. convictions. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447. Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE. That's free as in freedom. 855-450-3733. In studio, it's Chris.
And Ian.
And the nobody formerly known as Rich Paul.
You've got to work on that. You're not a nobody. You've said it twice now.
Well, the thing is, it's a takeoff of the artist formerly known as Prince.
Mm-hmm. I get that,
okay?
but you can't say you're the nobody formerly known as Rich
I've
Paul.
only got so many syllables to use. How much name do you want from me, bro?
I want an accurate name, and Rich Paul is by no means a nobody. So quit calling yourself that.
Well, think of it as nobody in the global sense, an everyman, in a normal individual. I'm not a president. I'm not a mayor. I'm not a governor. I'm not any of these magic things. I'm just
but you want to be one.
Another guy.
That's part of the point of this whole thing. You say that, and then you say, but vote for me for mayor or governor.
Till then, I'm a nobody.
Life's full of contradictions.
That's it.
It's true.
Ian's been telling us about AT&T. AT&T. Not some intermediary, but actually
deal.
AT&T
accepting
Bitcoin.
This is one of the biggest companies out there, I think, to start accepting cryptocurrency, specifically Bitcoin, likely Bitcoin Cash as well.
Is Microsoft still taking it?
That I think they stopped doing.
They did.
Oh, wow.
And I think this article actually touches on a few of the businesses that have stopped taking cryptocurrency, but they do point out here, and this is from cryptoslate.com, that the BitPay option for AT&T wireless customers is only for paying bills. Now, I presume it's just for wireless. I don't know. Maybe they'll let you pay your landline. I'm not sure about that.
Yeah,
but,
and the question came up about Bitcoin Cash. According to CNET, they are going to accept Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash.
Generally, that's what you're going to do if you do BitPay, because BitPay is sort of I'm not sure I know what the right word is. It's not at the top of my mind, but they're agnostic, I guess, towards BitPay is just going to flip on both of them for you by default, unless you say specifically that you don't want to take one or the other, because I think they'll even convert one to the other for you.
Yeah, and I thought they might have.
It's been a while since I've been in their back end, but anyway, it's a pretty good service for people that are looking to accept those cryptocurrencies online. The news does follow a trend of increasing merchant acceptance of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies as a method of payment. Last week, Flexa Network and I hate this name, Spedden app.
Oh man,
They transposed.
Get it? It's a
like
play
huddle.
on. It's a play on
Spend.
Yeah, that is really
but
stupid.
that is annoying.
Spedden.
Just call it the Spend app. I don't think anybody's done that yet, so why not just use that
Maybe
name?
we should create the Spend app and just outdo them on naming.
There is one I did look for.
Is there?
Yeah, of course
And
there is.
expanded acceptance for the top coins among some of the largest brands, including Whole Foods, Lowe's, and Nordstrom. Now, that news hit while I was in Japan, but I think you guys covered it, didn't you? I don't know if it was on your show, but I know that.
No.
So I feel like somebody did cover that on Free Talk Live.
Can you
last
recap
week.
that for us?
Oh, you have not heard about this?
Well,
the Spedden,
yes, I did.
thing.
Okay.
You did hear about that?
Yes.
I covered it a little bit on Freedom Encrypted.
Okay, I'm pretty sure I saw it in the show description, but for listeners who are unfamiliar, there is some kind of intermediary, this Flexa Network Spedden app, that is allowing people to use cryptocurrency in a limited fashion. I believe they've limited it to something like $200 that you can load up, $200 worth of crypto at a time. So it's kind of an initial thing. I think the guys behind Gemini are somehow involved in this, the Gemini exchange. And I think it's good news. I mean, I don't think that it's not the ideal situation in that Whole Foods probably isn't getting crypto out of this deal. They're probably converting to dollars immediately.
They are not getting. They're getting Flexa. Okay,
which is dollars, right?
Or is it?
I'm not entirely sure that it's dollar denominated. I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah, and to be clear, Gemini Networks, that is Winklevoss.
That's one of the domestic exchanges for cryptocurrencies here in the United States.
Owned by the
Winklevoss twins, who are apparently big-moneyed people that don't know a whole lot about Bitcoin. From what I've heard. This is what I heard from some people.
They've been throwing around money since
got a lot
the
of
days
money.
of Charlie Shrem into Bitcoin. So
right, but the story I heard was that Charlie Shrem had to hold their hands through some of the most basic of computing tasks at one point.
Yeah,
don't
they're
doubt
actors. I'm pretty sure.
Are they?
And they got somehow they met somebody with Bitcoin. So yeah, they were not technical people before.
Right. Yeah, they needed help setting up a
with
printer
Bitcoin.
or something something that level.
Nice.
But these are the guys who are running. And Gemini Exchange is not, a great exchange. They are very government obedient.
Yes.
They even took out a series of advertisements in Manhattan on billboards and bus stop signs, just bragging about how regulated they are and how obedient they are to the government.
Yeah, I mean, and they started up in what state? Let me think. New York.
Yes.
The least friendly place you can do anything related to cryptocurrency.
Mm-hmm. But they wear it like a badge of honor. It's like, oh, we've got our license. Ooh.
We got our bit license.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. So you're a tool, and you have no regard for anybody's financial privacy.
Nope, that's probably why they blew me out the door.
Right?
They don't want my business.
Oh, God. We're going to go to the phones where we've got Sarah calling in. Sarah, you're on Free Talk Live.
Sarah, will they let you pay the Obama phone bill that you have with cryptocurrency yet?
You know what? I have no idea what you're talking about. It's a Cricket phone.
Sarah, let me make you an offer real quickly. I would like to give you $100 here. I'm saying this on the air. $100 in Bitcoin. If you will simply load up a Bitcoin wallet.
She's got an Obama phone.
Okay, no, thank you.
She doesn't have the internet.
$100?
No, I don't have any of that computer stuff. No, I don't.
Do you have $100?
She doesn't have a phone.
Do you have $100? You probably have $100,
well,
but could you use another
She doesn't
one?
want to talk about her finances.
I know that. I'm prying into her private financial
I'm trying to
matters.
defend you here, Sarah.
I'm trying to give you money. Sarah, load a Bitcoin wallet, and I will send you $100
She doesn't have
in
a
Bitcoin.
device she can do that on. She doesn't have a phone.
Now you're going to get 5 emails from Sarah at gmail.com, a bunch of people giving you a Bitcoin address.
Well, if you're interested in getting free
Rich is
Bitcoin, yeah, you want to hit me up at ian@freetalklive.com.
Thanks for that.
So, Sarah, what's on your mind?
So, our city wants to start charging bad drivers $400 per hour if they cause an accident. But
if you cause an accident, you get charged $400 per hour?
Yeah, to encourage good driving habits. That's what they're trying to do. So if they have to pry you out of the car, they want to charge you like $400 per hour. But Mark said that it will charge the insurance company. But here's the thing: is the speeders, the bad drivers, are the ones with no car insurance. It's the red light violators that break the law. It's like they have no.
What makes you think they got
insurance.
$400 an hour to pay somebody?
That's what I'm talking about. See, they have no money.
They don't
no
have
car
money.
Insurance.
And Sarah, thank you for your call. I tried
Let's
to get
put them in debt forever.
I just wanted to get Sarah interested in Bitcoin and give her some Bitcoin,
it's a
but
good
that's
try.
all right. 855-450 free.
It ain't for
This
everybody.
Is Free Talk Live.
Anytime, any place, anywhere. Radio remains the most intimate of all forms of media. At home, at work, in the car, on smartphones. Over 90% of consumers still listen to radio every week. That makes choosing radio as a place to advertise your business one of the best decisions you can make. Email advertise@gcnlive.com and partner up with an experienced GCN representative. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com. Or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Did you know you can legally exit the U.S. federal income tax system? Well, it's true, and thousands of American nationals are doing it. The 16th Amendment and the Internal Revenue Code are legal, but only in a limited jurisdiction. This is the basis behind the voluntary nature of the income tax. Learn the exit strategy provided by Congress. Find out more by visiting weissparis.com and watch our numerous videos. That's WEISS
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
A fully leveled up video game character marvels at how far he's come, and the milk rushing through a jug handle is having the time of its life. This is the Onion Week in Review. This week, top executives from the U.S. financial sector announced they're about ready to ruin the world again. Representatives from all major banking and investment institutions said that more than enough time has passed since they last caused a major global economic meltdown, and confirmed they're pretty much fully prepared to bring about a brand new worldwide financial crisis.
We feel like we've given people enough time to get comfortable again. Consumer spending has increased. Housing market has rebounded. So yeah, we're all set to go ahead and ruin the global economy again.
And in other news, the perfect gift for a local man is unfortunately a gift certificate to Lowe's Cinemas. Mall shoppers look on in awe as a helpless 15-year-old girl is viciously torn apart by a pack of her peers. And a drunk pilot decides to pull over onto a cloud until he sobers up. You will now hear 3 gong strikes and a recitation of the great chant before being ushered to the hallowed garden. For more, keep checking theonion.com.
This is the Onion News Network.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. That's our number. If you would like to talk on the radio, imagine the thrill of being part of a nationally syndicated radio program. We'd love to talk to you and hear what's on your mind. Tonight, we've been talking about AT&T, the AT&T accepting cryptocurrencies for payment, and that's beyond kind of a big thing. We believe, and I think you're correct when you state this, Ian, this is probably the largest company that has ever accepted crypto.
I guess they can hear us now.
Right?
I don't know if it's ever, because Microsoft and Dell Computer have accepted cryptocurrency.
That's a good point. All right.
I think Microsoft stopped accepting cryptocurrency at some point, but it wasn't across the board that they were accepting it. I think it was like their gaming division or something like that. There was some sort of online
You could actually,
payments.
I know at one point you could buy a Microsoft tablet. So
really,
but you're right, it was limited. But
this is also limited. You can only use it to pay your bill. You cannot purchase a phone through AT&T. And I don't know if it's just their wireless bills or if it's also like landline service or what all is included in that. But at the very least, this is a big deal for wireless customers to be able to do that.
And, we know that this, I'm going to say, cryptocurrency is so simple, stupid. It really is. If you're into Bitcoin, you're into Bitcoin Cash, you're into Dash or any one of the other, I'm going to say, higher tier Monero.
I'm into whatever works.
I am too. And
Monero seems to work pretty well for privacy purposes.
It does. It has a focus on that. But if it works for you, if you like the set of features that a particular crypto has for you, you're going to find you can send and receive. It's pretty simple. This idea that it's really complicated, I have this conversation with people every day. Oh, it's too tough. I couldn't understand it. Trust me, you can understand it. We're going to go to the phones where we've got Diddley in South Carolina. Diddley, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
Howdy, y'all. I just want to call out Ian real quick. I heard him talking about the Obama phone, but the truth about that is that comes from the Lifeline Act, which comes from the Ronald Reagan administration. So
oh, really?
It's not an Obama phone. Yeah, it's a Reagan phone.
I've heard that too.
Interesting. Reagan phone. All right. Either way. Government phone.
I'm not a Republican or a Democrat. I just want to set the record straight.
Yeah,
all right.
me neither.
Well, thanks
for
Diddley.
Pointing that out.
Yep.
Appreciate that.
Thanks for your call.
Interesting.
I don't know. I respect Diddley, and I'm glad he brought that. We like to have fact checkers, but I'm not sure I could ever call it anything other than the Obama phone.
It's a fun name.
I know. And the point is
that Reagan phone doesn't have the same ring to it.
Oh, punny. Very punny tonight. This idea that, if people need a phone, then yes, just turn to government. Because I'm pretty sure, Rich, could you pull up your copy?
To a phone.
Yeah, please pull up your Constitution. If you could point me to where it talks about the right to a cell phone that every American should have. It's a God-given right, certainly, right? Something in the Constitution saying you're entitled to a cell phone.
And on the seventh day, God made cell phone networks.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's a new amendment. That hasn't been ratified.
Yeah. But it is insanity, this idea that whatever people want should suddenly become a right. And people refer to their Obama phones, I'm entitled. That's another word they love to use. Banty that one around. And entitlements, 855-450-FREE.
The story here from CryptoSlate.com about AT&T accepting Bitcoin. There really isn't that much more to the news, but they do have a couple of notes about some of the difficulties that we've seen, because we've had some major wins, but there have been some setbacks, as they point out here in December of now 2017. It's been over a year since Steam, which is a very popular distribution platform for video games. If it may be the number one platform, at least on the computer. I don't know how it stacks up to, say, the PlayStation Network or the Microsoft network, but for computers, Steam's got to be the top dog. And they, for a time, did accept Bitcoin, and then they made a big to-do about why they stopped accepting Bitcoin, which happened at about the same time when the Bitcoin fees were going out of control.
When Bitcoin
and that was a
prices
completely
were going
reasonable time to not want to take it, both because the fees were out of control and because it was clearly in a bubble to some extent. We didn't know when it was going to pop. Well, we knew it was going to pop sooner or later.
And it caused all kinds of problems with them and with others who were accepting Bitcoin at that time, because if they accepted Bitcoin, so let's say you're buying a video game, $50 video game over this service, and you're willing to go ahead and spend the $5 Bitcoin fee, which was at what it was at the time of December 2017. It was even more than that.
Oh, no.
At certain points.
It hit median prices hit $35.
The median did?
Yes.
At $35? Wow.
Yes.
But for a time, it was $5. So let's just use $5. So you're willing to pay 10% extra just for the privilege of using Bitcoin, which is ridiculous. But somebody was probably willing to do it. But then you decide, you know what? I don't want this game. I want to return it. Now, I don't know what their return policy is, but apparently they had one. Maybe you could keep it for a few hours, or there's some time limit, right? Because Steam's a digital delivery service. You're not getting a CD-ROM or a DVD or something. You're getting files to your computer over the internet, and so they can revoke your access to those files and kind of pull them back if you return it. Now, I imagine, again, the return policy must be limited to some extent. Otherwise, people will just play the game in the first 24 hours and return it. So there's probably some limitations, but either way, over that time frame, the price of Bitcoin has done who knows what, but the fees haven't gone down. So then all of a sudden, the company that you sent the $50 to then has to send you the Bitcoin back. Well, now it's going to cost them $5 just to send you your refund back. And so it got to the point where this was not something that is... You can't do this. Like, the margins aren't there for it. It doesn't make any sense financially.
So let's talk about fees.
Bitcoin, I've talked about being irritated at the Bitcoin developers before, and I'll talk about it again. They could have doubled the block size and bought themselves time to solve the problem.
No, it would have had an
It would have had a lot of effect. It would have doubled the capacity of the
every
pipe.
block could have had twice as much transactions.
Right. But the problem is, and if you actually look at this stuff, when you look at, is a block actually a full block? Blocks aren't full right now. So what's the point of increasing them? At that time they were, but when we're talking about prices going up now, what we have are miners that provide security to the network, charging for the security that they provide. So there's more than one aspect to this.
The miners don't just arbitrarily charge for those things.
No, they receive bids on what people are willing to pay for a faster
the reason why the fees were bid up on Bitcoin was because the blocks were getting full. And so people were having to bid in order to get their transaction in a next or sooner, near
block.
to soon block.
Right.
So they were willing to pay more, and that bid the fees up to insane levels.
So I guess the other
if the block
question
was larger, the price would have to be lower because they would add more things to the block.
But there's also a supply and demand issue here. The fact that Bitcoin is limited and Bitcoin does routinely get busy, other cryptocurrencies don't have that issue.
Well, if they do, you don't know about it because they work.
Oh, no. I can
Bitcoin
look at
Cash
the
and
numbers.
Dash have both increased their block sizes. Now, they may not have the same amount of network activity as Bitcoin BTC does, but they're prepared to absorb more of it.
You're preparing, and you're
and
basically...
Bitcoin BTC's done nothing. The Bitcoin BTC, some of their programmers have talked about lowering the block size.
Which they should.
I don't understand how you can even say that. I mean, that's
because
insane.
Block size be better in any way than a larger
developers.
No, Bitcoin BTC developers have said they want to. Not all of them, but there's a couple
Luke
of them.
Dasher.
Yeah.
He's a well-known one. What do you think? I mean, should you have to pay? Is it beneficial to pay for a higher level of network security? 855-450-FREE. This is Free Talk Live.
Would you like to hang out with Penn Jillette? He's keynoting Freedom Fest this year. I, for one, am thrilled. Freedom Fest is the largest liberty-oriented gathering in the world. They take a Big Ten approach with libertarians, conservatives, liberals, anarchists, capitalists, and just open-minded people mingling together to hear real debates, share real solutions, and converse freely. This year's theme is the Wild West, a time of liberty and opportunity, or a time of anarchy and violence. Maybe both. Go to freedomfest.com/FTL and get your tickets now. freedomfest.com/FTL. Not convinced yet? Hey, I understand. It's a high-end event. Even with coupon code FTL50. Sure, you're likely to receive investment advice that'll make that sum seem paltry, but I have something special for you. Go to freedomfest.com/FTL and you'll get the 5 best speeches from last year for free. Call it a test drive. Do yourself a favor and go to freedomfest.com/FTL. freedomfest.com/FTL. Use coupon code FTL50 for a discount.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
By now you know that wireless technology like cell phones do in fact pose dangers to the health and privacy of everyone. Block-It Pocket's wide range of products are unmatched in providing the protection you deserve. No scare tactics, just common sense. BlockItPocket.com offers quality American-made options to alleviate and eliminate these invisible dangers. Learn more at BlockItPocket.com or call 888-315-9618. BlockItPocket.com, enhancing health and privacy.
Would you like to hang out with Penn Jillette? He's keynoting Freedom Fest this year. I, for one, am thrilled. Freedom Fest is the largest liberty-oriented gathering in the world. They take a Big Ten approach with libertarians, conservatives, liberals, anarchists, and just open-minded people mingling together to hear real debates, share real solutions, and converse freely. This year's theme is the Wild West, a time of liberty and opportunity, or a time of anarchy and violence. Maybe both. Go to freedomfest.com/FTL and get your tickets now. freedomfest.com/FTL. Not convinced yet? Hey, I understand. It's a high-end event. Even with coupon code FTLEB. Sure, you're likely to receive investment advice that'll make that sum seem paltry, but I have something special for you. Go to freedomfest.com/FTL and you'll get the 5 best speeches from last year for free. Call it a test drive. Do yourself a favor and go to freedomfest.com/FTL. freedomfest.com/FTL. Use coupon code FTLEB for a discount.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Free speech is protected on the internet, right? Not always. Government agencies try to limit free speech and commerce on the net. Luckily, when they do, the Institute for Justice is there to defend your First Amendment right to free speech. IJ helped set the first federal precedent for internet free speech in 1999, and ever since has worked to prevent unconstitutional roadblocks in cyberspace. Visit our website today at ij.org.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, 855, 450 free. I may have gone a little long there because we were in here discussing cryptocurrencies in a very studious way. That means we weren't arguing.
Weren't we?
No.
Oh, really?
We never do. Even though I tend to be the
You're the maximalist.
I am the one guy here who really likes Bitcoin and appreciates
Well,
where
we need a
it
good
got
cult
us
member
to.
on the show.
Cult member.
No.
So, yes.
Do you want some Kool-Aid, bro?
So you have two cults. You have multiple cults. And,
You can't afford to buy Kool-Aid with Bitcoin BTC anymore with these fees.
Ouch, ouch. I certainly can with Bitcoin Lightning Network. And you can spend that at Route 101 Local Goods. See, now we're not a sponsor, but I keep plugging myself.
Now, can any Bitcoin transaction be done over the Lightning Network?
Lightning Network is just another layer. So you can perform any transaction you like on the Lightning Network. You're just using Bitcoin.
Okay, so
Bitcoin is underneath. That's what your transaction's made up of.
Okay, so if I see a Bitcoin accepted here sign, that's all it takes in order to be able. Okay,
no, they have to be set up for that, and there's a couple different ways to do it. It's as simple as going to someplace like AnyPay and signing up to.
But AnyPay is not supporting the Lightning Network.
That is true.
They were going to, but Steven Zeiler posted publicly just within the last couple of days about that. And
let's hear that letter.
I don't know if I'll see if I can pull it up. I don't have it in
He
front of me.
said it would be a complex thing to do.
It does sound like it.
Yeah. I don't know if he's changed his story since then, but before it was really about they wanted to do work to support the cryptocurrencies that people were using. And hey, guess what? Nobody's using Lightning Network yet because it's about a year old. That's it.
So it's like they've got a gigabit block and no transactions in it.
A gigameg, I think is
gigameg.
That is the current.
What the heck is a gigameg?
That's the Calvin heir who threatens to sue anyone. I guess
this is the rich guy that's backing up the crazy man who's saying that he's Satoshi Nakamoto, and who recently filed copyright claims on the original Bitcoin BTC white paper, which apparently anybody can do. This has nothing to do with him actually being the creator of it.
That's not true, Ian. First, you have to pay $55.
All right, so anyone with $50 and an attorney or whatever can.
Not even an attorney.
You don't even need an attorney for it.
You can do it online.
Is that right?
I just filed my copyright for the Bitcoin white paper, so I hope to be claimed as Satoshi Nakamoto. I have as much right to do that as Craig Wright does. Which means
that's
none.
the crazy guy in the
I'm amazed how much certainty people have about things. It's like I question everything.
Yeah, and for people who may not be
just
familiar with the name Satoshi Nakamoto, and we're talking about Bitcoin, Bitcoin was started by this white paper that was released on a crypto mailing list years and years and years ago, 10 years ago. And he came up with this idea called Bitcoin, and here's how it would be designed. And he wrote it as a white paper. It's 9 pages long, and most of it you can understand. It's not really super complex math and things like that. But this kickstarted this whole industry. It started from nothing, and Bitcoin's price started at nothing. Bitcoin is currently trading around $7,800-$7,900, I think.
Yep.
So from zero to that. And we just had Bitcoin Pizza Day, where we celebrate a guy named Laszlo who famously asked somebody to buy him 2 Domino's. No, it was Papa John's. Papa John's pizzas. He said he'd pay $10,000 or 10,000 Bitcoins.
Which is like 80 million or something like that.
$79 million for 2 pizzas to be
Here's what I
delivered.
want to know about that story, the Bitcoin Pizza Day origination story from 9 years ago. Who was the person who actually took the 10,000 Bitcoins? Like, who's the other person in this transaction?
We always hear about
Why does Laszlo get
right.
all of the coverage? It's also this other guy or gal or whoever it was that helped him do this.
That's actually a good point.
Who ordered the pies?
He posted a message to a message board.
Yeah, they had some kind of. It was probably the Bitcoin forums, would be my guess, because that was the big one back in the day.
Right.
The messages are probably still there publicly. So who's the person who actually made the order? Because he didn't order it. He gave 10,000 Bitcoins to somebody, and then that somebody called Papa John's, and then paid it with their credit card or however they paid it, and ordered it to Laszlo's house, presumably. So who's the other mystery person, the other side of that transaction, and why don't they get the credit they deserve for being willing to buy 10,000 Bitcoins for $20?
That gentleman has since retired. He is now living on his own planet in another solar system.
Well, no, I think it would be interesting to find out not only who it was, but then to ask him, what'd you do with the 10,000 Bitcoins? Did you hold on to it, or did you spend it on something else later on?
Because I guarantee you.
A lot of people spent their Bitcoins early on, and these aren't worth anything, so just spend it. And then later on, they look back and they regret it. But it's a good thing they did spend it.
And there is, because it does encourage other people to do it. I mean, the fact that we bought pizza, yesterday, that's legacy of those transactions, using this as actual money. But I'll wager, and people always say this, well, the guy had 10,000 Bitcoin. He could have just paid, had to pay for the pizza in cash. So that guy's got to be worth $80 million. And that is so rarely the case. If you came across an investment that went up 1,000%, would you sell it? Most people will say would. Absolutely yes. How about if it goes up 10,000%? How about if it goes up 1,000,000%? How about
in
if
each
it goes?
case, I would sell half of it.
How about and you're gonna, but the point is how many people did that and didn't sell Bitcoin when they realized 1,000,000% return? It's one of those things that we all like to think we're smart enough never.
I don't
to
think
get
I'm that
rid
smart. I got dragged into it and was not. I did a good job of not doing anything with it.
And for that you should be commended. You should pat yourself on the back. 855.
And now I know better than to. We've all learned hard lessons in the early days of Bitcoin. Everybody's lost some here or there, or spent some that they regret spending. Or whatever.
Particularly if you did it on camera.
But now I know that I should buy more whenever I go out and spend crypto. If I'm going to go and spend some money on an oil change, because I did an oil change recently, I paid for that with crypto. I'm going to rebuy that amount in crypto because I do expect that it's going to succeed at this point. I do expect that it's going to do better over time. Now, we could be completely wrong. It could completely fail, but I'm willing to risk that.
Yeah, and the nice thing about being in this community is I spent Bitcoin Cash on Bitcoin Cash Pizza Day, and the it was Bitcoin Cash Pizza Day for me.
I don't think anybody paid with BTC yesterday. It's just too expensive to pay with the fees.
But
and there was a discount for it, so that was good.
But my immediate reaction as soon as I left was to buy back a little bit more crypto than I'd spent, and that's pretty much if I can't afford to buy it back, I'm not going to spend it.
Well, a lot of the maximalists will say that everybody. If it's possible, you should have a Bitcoin, or pick your favorite cryptocurrency and some amount of your savings. So as we look at investments, you want to allocate a certain percentage based on the risk that you're willing to take. And if you have enough money invested in everything else, stocks, bonds, your house, whatever it happens to be, and if something close to a Bitcoin is the amount of maybe it's 10%, that's just a speculative risk, then maybe you want to consider that. I'm never going to tell anybody to invest money that they can't afford to lose, but some percentage of your investment should be in something speculative that if it takes off, you're going to look really good. And if it doesn't, then you're still going to retire. You know what I mean? It's not going to jeopardize those things. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah, I mean, going out and getting one Bitcoin or one Bitcoin Cash makes a lot of sense. Even if you're not sure it's going to make it there, because if it does, you've made a lot of money.
You could be a happy guy. You could be living like Ian. 855-450 free. I'm just kidding. what do you think about crypto? Do you think this should be part of somebody's investment strategy? This is Free Talk Live.
Jake was in big trouble with the IRS. He owed how much?
$92,000.
Ouch. The IRS left no room for Jake to breathe.
They put a lien on my house, took all the money out of my bank account, took money out of my paychecks. So it was a nightmare.
He needed help fast.
I figured that all these companies were the same until I called Federal Tax Management. You could just tell they knew what they were talking about. Right then and there, I felt like I had some hope.
Stop the liens, levies, and garnishments fast and qualify for one of several special IRS programs that could reduce or even eliminate your tax debt. So, how'd it go for Jake?
They did what they said they would do. They came through for me. I ended up saving an unbelievable amount. I was so jazzed. I was extremely happy.
If you owe more than $10,000 in back taxes, take Jake's advice.
Give Federal Tax Management a phone call. If they help me, they can help anybody.
Call the Federal Tax Management Hotline now. 800-503-8625. 800-503-8625. 800-503-8625.
There are basically two types of advertising: direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer-term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,284, silver at $14.58, and Bitcoin is trading around $7,828. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, inside information into the years-long child abuse saga involving Louisville Metropolitan Police Department officers is now being revealed. The Free Thought Project reports the city commissioned former U.S. Attorney Kerry Harvey to investigate the LMPD Explorers Program for Children to determine if sexual misconduct, abuse, and even rape were widespread with police officers involved in the program. Hardly an isolated incident. In total, a series of 7 lawsuits names more than 8 current or former LMPD officers. In a disturbing description to Fox News this week, one of the victims went into graphic detail about how he was abused and raped by the people he looked up to. 2 former LMPD officers have already been convicted of serious crimes. And the city wanted to know more about how police handled the complaints from parents and reports children were being groomed, propositioned, and even raped. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. Israel has embarked on a massive recruitment drive to support the country's online propaganda campaign, one day after its companies were exposed for spreading disinformation and meddling in the elections of several African, Asian, and Latin American countries. The new initiative which would see the government funding pro-Israel groups overseas, was unveiled by Israel's Ministry of Strategic Affairs, a government arm set up to combat the global rise of pro-Palestinian activism and Israel's poor global image. The anti-media reports that by launching the initiative, Strategic Affairs Minister Gilad Erdan was quoted by the Times of Israel as saying, quote, "I'm proud to launch the first government program to support pro-Israel organizations and activists around the world," end quote. A war monitor has countered U.S. suspicions of a Syrian government chemical attack, as a senior American official called for a ceasefire amid heavy fighting in northwestern Syria. The anti-media reports at Washington late Tuesday said it had seen signs that forces loyal to Syrian President Bashar al-Assad may be using chemical weapons, including an alleged chlorine attack in the latest offensive, and warned that it would respond quickly and appropriately if that's proven. The attack had allegedly taken place in the northern mountains of the Latakia province, as fighting has flared up in northwestern Syria in recent weeks between pro-government forces and opposition militants. Opposition groups also accused government forces on Sunday of launching a chlorine gas attack on its fighters in the region. But the Syrian Observatory of Human Rights on Wednesday said it has not found any evidence of an attack. Meanwhile, White Helmets rescue volunteers, who have reported past chemical attacks in rebel-held areas of Syria, told AFP Wednesday they have no information about the purported gas attack. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
It's the Onion Radio News. God loses his decision-making coin. This is Doyle Redland reporting. The Lord God has confirmed that he has misplaced his special decision-making coin. The coin, a relatively unremarkable 1972 nickel, has been used almost daily by the Supreme Being for over 4 billion years for the purpose of determining everything from the direction of the wind to the outcome of history. The visibly distraught God added,
"I have no idea where I put it. I remember flipping it last night for a couple in Monroe, Michigan, who were trying to conceive a child, but I haven't seen it since."
God also said he hopes to locate the coin before 7:15 Thursday morning when United Flight 251 takes off from Seattle with actress Dixie Carter on board. Doyle Redland for the Onion Radio News, online at theonion.com.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, 855-453. That's our toll-free number, 855-450-3733. You can also hit us up on Discord. Discord is a very cool app. Load it on your PC, your Linux box, your phone, whatever you want. Just load the client, use your quality microphone, use your high-speed internet connection, and you can call into the show, and you will sound like you are right here in the studio with us. The us in studio today is myself, Chris.
I'm Ian.
And the nobody formerly known as Rich Paul.
Not the nobody.
Yes, the nobody.
The nobody. See?
We'll talk about it offline.
I know. Yeah. I keep bringing it up. It's one of those things that Rich Paul refers to himself as a nobody. It bothers me every single time.
But now get over it.
I know. Get over it. It's my name. I can say it however I want. Tell me to go blow smoke. One thing I am excited about.
Didn't we just have a smoke?
I think so.
Actually, you quit smoking.
I did quit.
Congratulations.
I am smoke-free. No longer are my fingers nicotine stained.
Yeah, I've smoked about one cigarette a day these days.
I'm 100% vape, so I've found a new way to enjoy being addicted to nicotine. Yay for me. One thing I am excited about, though, is Fork Fest.
Yeah.
I know we're all...
Less than 4 weeks from now.
God, I got to get up there this year.
3 weeks, I think.
Yep, I'm going to do my best because I like to join liberty-minded voluntarists, anarchists, and libertarians this summer from June 13th to the 18th for Fork Fest 2019.
Yeah, 3 weeks. This will be the first night of Fork Fest in 3 weeks.
This is so cool. At Rogers Campground in the beautiful White Mountains of New Hampshire, Fork Fest happens right before the Porcupine Freedom Festival, also known as Pork Fest. And
this year it does.
This year, yes. And Fork
There's
Fest...
talk about that changing in 2020, just so everybody knows.
Really?
Yeah, move it to the other side.
Oh, okay. I see. I thought you were insinuating like the Porcupine Freedom Festival might be changing or moving.
Well, I don't know what they're going to do about that. That's their,
that's their
that's
issue.
a whole other thing.
It's their sinking ship, and they're
all
free
I
to
know
do
is
with
the guy
whatever they
who was.
wish.
I don't know that it's sinking. I mean, it's not as
fine.
much to my taste anymore, but
It
the
is.
families who go love it.
I know,
and it's
are as many people going as they're used to.
No, but that's okay. I mean, it went down a little bit for a while, but it's kind of come back from what I understand. Roger Paxton, who's the organizer of the Porcupine Freedom Festival and a friend and sometime co-host here on Free Talk Live,
absolutely,
he said that he was able to make he's the organizer of the last couple of years of Pork Fest. He was able to make it turn a profit last year for the first time in many years, apparently. So it seems to be doing all right, although he's decided he's not going to continue organizing it, so they're going to have to put somebody else in charge for 2020.
Absolutely.
So that's what I heard, at least.
Yep. Difference between Pork Fest and festivals like that and Fork Fest is decentralized, which means that no one is in charge. That also means there's no ticket cost. Just reserve your camping, RV site, or motel room with Rogers Campground for June 13th to the 18th. You can simply relax and go camping with other liberty lovers. You can create whatever experience or events you'd like others to have. If you're planning an event for Fork Fest, be sure to let others know in advance. You can connect with other Fork Festers via the unofficial Telegram chat or the Fork Fest forums. Links to those are on the unofficial website, forkfest.party. That is forkfest.party. So, that's kind of... It's going to be good. I'm just very jazzed. I keep reading online of other people that... they're making it. They planned on going to Pork Fest, and they're like, I'm going to come up. I'll be there a few days early. And that's good because it means those of us who live here in the beautiful state of New Hampshire get to meet more people. And we love having people come through, especially those who find the ideas of liberty and freedom as compelling as we do.
And that's why I wanted to have Fork Fest after Pork Fest next year, is that way people who come up to Pork Fest and don't know about Fork Fest, we can say, oh, well, hey, stay an extra week.
Right.
We're going to be here.
Yeah. And that's, and I find that's when, not to say we're trying to get the right people to move. And the longer we have to show them the benefits of the 101 benefits of New Hampshire, which has been well documented in 101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire.
That's a movie, yeah. It's a hour-long documentary film that you can watch for free at 101reasonsfilm.com. Came out in 2014, so it's actually going to celebrate its 5th year later this year.
Absolutely.
Nice. And who are the right people?
The right people?
Yeah, you said you want the right people to move. Who do you want?
It's easier for me to list the people I don't want to move.
Okay.
I don't want people to move who just want to make government bigger and more powerful and more intrusive in my life. I don't want those people to move. No offense. I'm sure you're all very nice, but stay where you're at. Find a nice state that you're going to enjoy, like California or New York. Those are great. New Jersey, that's another great choice. But if you're interested in liberty and freedom and you want to be left alone, if you're not hurting anybody else, then why should government bother you? That's the attitude I take.
Why should there be a government?
Even better. I'll second that.
I would say there shouldn't. Yeah, we've got unanimity here.
Do we have a quorum too? Yeah. I guess we just voted government out of existence.
Poof.
So poof. It was that easy. One thing that government has loved to muck around in has been CBD. This is cannabidiol.
What are they doing?
I know. Cannabidiol is one of those compounds that is found in the marijuana plant. It's also found in the hemp plant.
CBD's been blowing up recently. I mean, this seems like one of the things that's really been catching on. There's a whole store that just opened up in Keene about that.
Yeah.
And all the vape stores sell
They've got it, yeah.
Yeah.
And if
gas stations.
Little general stores in the small town of Alstead that I live in, you can buy CBD products at the checkout.
Oh, yeah. And interestingly, I saw CBD flour today.
Like for cooking?
At the vape store, they had buds of CBD hemp.
Really?
And I'm pretty sure because I had a friend who bought some weed and brought it to my house, and he was like, Rich, I bought this weed.
And I'm not getting high.
It looks good, it smells good, and it doesn't do anything. Try some of this with me. And I was like, I smoked some of it with him, and it smelled a little bit like wheat. It didn't have quite the smell that I expected,
it looks like,
but it would have passed.
It's got the hairs.
It looked perfect.
I gotta say, I've seen
this too.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of weed in my day, and I mean, I never even knew that hemp plants were flowering. I just, for whatever reason, I've never seen it before. I didn't even know. I just thought they were stalky.
It looks exactly like a marijuana plant. I mean, it really does.
Yeah.
But it is kind of interesting, and
this is going to really screw with the police, isn't it? Like if there's bags of hemp flowers being sold out there.
Hey, let's get me like a quarter. When I get a car, let's get me a quarter pound of CBD herb. Throw it in the back seat.
I just want to take it down on Central Square in Keene and just roll up a big old joint of hemp.
Just sit down in the Keene Police Department lobby and start selling bags of hemp flowers.
Oh,
in the parking lot.
That would be fun.
I'd try to sell it to cops. Hey,
need some CBD?
I got some of this. I wouldn't say what it is. No. I'm just going to say, hey. But CBD made other news. This comes to us from livescience.com. CBD, this is based on recent studies, may reduce drug cravings in people who suffer from heroin addiction.
Really?
A small study finds the marijuana compound CBD or cannabidiol may help reduce drug cravings in people with heroin addiction, a preliminary new study suggests. The study, which is published today, and today being March 21st when this was announced, in the American Journal of Psychiatry, involved 42 people with heroin use disorder who were attempting to abstain from the drug. Participants visited the laboratory and were shown cues intended to trigger drug craving. In this case, videos of people using heroin or objects involved in drug use, like syringes. Seeing these typical cues in an uncontrolled setting can build a resistance to relapse. We're going to find out what these people experienced, and it may surprise you. 855-450-FREE. This is Free Talk Live.
Don't you hate that feeling in the pit of your stomach when the police pull you over? Most people have no idea how to handle it properly, and they promptly get fed into the municipal fee-generating meat grinder. Or maybe you recall that feeling you get when you go to the mailbox and see one or more letters from the IRS. You get a sense of impending doom, don't you? So let me ask you, if you could learn how to use the law to beat the IRS, traffic tickets, almost any courtroom scenario, collectors, credit card debt, and even mortgage debt because of fraud perpetrated against you, would that be worth knowing about? Don't laugh. Investigate. Check out the life-changing benefits of the Lighthouse Law Club at their website, lighthouselaw.club. That's lighthouselaw.club. And while you're at it, visit the Lighthouse Law Club YouTube channel. You might be in for a pleasant surprise.
Are you concerned that the values that made America great are no longer taught in schools? Well, I am, so I got my son the Tuttle Twins children's book series.
My name is Jack, and I'm 11, and I just finished the Tuttle Twins series. It taught me about liberty, free market economics, and entrepreneurship.
Give all the young people in your life a chance at reason and clear thought, because they're not going to get it at school. There are 9 books in the series, and each one teaches a set of ideas that children aren't getting elsewhere. Go to TuttleTwins.com and use coupon code FTL to get 40% off. That's TuttleTwins.com. I believe the crypto winter is over. That, if true, means that crypto prices may be on the rise and more news will be on the horizon. Get the latest and freshest crypto news at news.bitcoin.com. They have a real staff that does real reporting, not the rehashed stuff you're getting from most crypto news outlets. I am proud and happy to say that news.bitcoin.com is my first stop for all news crypto related. News.bitcoin.com. Don't forget that you can get a free Bitcoin Cash wallet and free Bitcoin Cash at free.bitcoin.com. Free crypto at free.bitcoin.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, 855, 450 free. That's free as in freedom, free as in no free lunch, but free. Just being free. And that's what we're hoping to achieve here in New Hampshire. That's what I hope you're hoping to achieve in your life. Because that's a good thing. We don't need government to tell us silly things. I was very impressed to see that the government did drop regulations on the number of cherries required to be in a frozen cherry pie. Now, you two are looking at me with that look of, what? Our federal government actually regulated the number of cherries that could and what quality these cherries could be in a frozen cherry pie. But yes, our government does stupid.
Is this the FDA?
FDA.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, maybe we'll pull that story up. I thought you guys might have covered it. But yes,
wow.
Part of Trump's push to reduce the impact of governing through regulation.
Well, except for the fact that he's now starting a trade war with China, and
don't go all anti-Trump on me. I'm
not going to go all pro-Trump on you.
I only want to talk about the good things that Trump does and ignore everything else, like trade wars and other,
which is way worse than cherry regulations as far as frozen pies. Way
maybe
worse.
to you.
Yeah.
What about the cherry pie loving fans of the show that we probably have one of listening to us? I don't know.
So what else is he doing besides the trade?
Cherries.
So there's a trade war thing going on now.
We got regular wars.
I know what I heard. I heard he was subsidizing the farmers who are being hurt by the trade wars.
So basically,
the bad economics on both sides.
Yeah. So the way the system works now is we charge American citizens more for the Chinese things they impact. We lose trade from it. So we borrow money from the Chinese to give the American manufacturers.
In this case, farmers.
Wait, they're borrowing from the Chinese?
Well, we don't have
we borrow
any money
from the Chinese every year.
You mean the government? I don't borrow money from the Chinese.
Oh yeah. That was the royal we referring to
and
Trump.
Dear listeners, none of us actually borrow money from China. That money is borrowed in your name by other people called government. So there you go.
Well, I mean, if the government goons need money, they just turn on the printing presses. But they can sell, bonds or whatever to China to get even more, right?
There are different ways that the government creates money out of thin air. So we do have the old standby, turn on the printing presses and print more money, or in this case, enter it into a keyboard.
Incrementing numbers in a computer system.
You can do that. You can do it through fractional reserve banking. And here's a fun fact. Whenever you buy something on credit, you have just created money out of thin air. So you, in a way, are as much to blame as the government, other than you're forced to follow their stupid economics.
Right.
The other way that the government can do is they can go out on the market and borrow money. So,
well, they're borrowing money anyway, because what happens behind the scenes when the Federal Reserve prints money, they use that money to buy government bonds on the open market. So they're taking, people have lent money to the government and they're buying those bonds that represent that money.
They're the
That's
last resort, right? Like the Federal Reserve is who the federal government goons turn to when they need to sell bonds they can't sell to anyone else.
Lender of last resort, that's on the other side. That means that if a bank is bankrupt and they're completely screwed and none of the other banks will lend them money, the Federal Reserve will bail them out.
Yes.
And so they were acting as the lender of last resort when they did the TARP bailouts, although they needed special authorization to actually do that particular
But don't they
thing.
also guarantee to buy the bonds if they can't find any other buyers? Like if the federal government has a bunch of bonds they need to dump, the Federal Reserve is guaranteed to buy them, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know if they are, because bonds will always sell. The question is, at what price will they sell? Okay, anybody's going to pay $1 for a $100 government bond.
Not me. I don't want that crap.
I would pay $1 for a $100 government bond.
I'm not giving them my money.
Sell it immediately, but
it gets murky when we talk about it in reasonably good economic times. And right now we're not in horrible economic straits, at least on the surface. There are underlying problems that will eventually spell the end of the system as we know it. I say that confidently.
And the sooner the better.
It's only a matter of time. I mean, all these government systems fail.
Yeah. You're always told that Social Security is a Ponzi scheme, and they're absolutely right. It is a Ponzi scheme.
Yep.
But you don't realize that your entire financial system that exists in the United States is a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah.
It cannot go on forever.
Is rigged 6 ways from Sunday, and each one of those rigs is unsustainable.
Yes.
You cannot rig a market and keep it rigged. It will beat you.
Yeah, it's craziness. But yeah, so the government was regulating the number of cherries and frozen cherry pies, and Trump did away with that. I commend him for an initiative that's supposed to be government-wide to reduce regulation. But there's so many more bigger fish to fry. That's I think your point is,
look over here, don't look over there.
Look what we did for cherry pies. It's pretty insane. We're going to go to the phones where we've got David. David calling in from New Mexico. You're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
Yeah. First of all, hello.
Hi, you're on the air.
Hey.
Yeah. Ian been into the shrooms today, being punny.
What?
That's unusual.
Oh, I wish I'd taken shrooms today, but no.
You got some?
Yeah, I was going to say.
You were being punny earlier, and it was out of character.
We do have a show rule.
Well, I'm different when I'm sitting on the third mic. I can,
Yeah, that is.
Focus on other things.
Yeah, if he's punny on the first mic, we'll send him to the penitentiary.
Oh, man.
Or to the pit with a pendulum.
Hey, in that vein, in that vein, Diddley could have told you what a gigameg was. Everybody in the South knows what a gigameg is.
Good.
Really?
What's a gigameg?
I'm from the South.
This was brought up by Calvinaire. He was talking about Bitcoin.
This is the rich guy that's backing the guy claiming to be
Craig Wright.
Satoshi.
Yeah, he was talking about how they were successfully improving Bitcoin SV, which is another cryptocurrency I do not advocate. But yes, he said that they were in the process of expanding it and upgrading it to handle literally gigamegs of data.
What is a gigameg?
Gigameg.
They want to make the block size 1 gigabyte? Is that what they're saying?
At least a gigameg.
It's when you go out in the swamp and you gig a million frogs for dinner.
Okay.
Gigameg.
That makes as much sense as Craig Wright. So, okay.
You gig a million frogs? I still don't understand. What is gig in the context of frogs?
I think dig frogs.
Frog gigging is when you get a 3-pronged fork and stab frogs.
Oh, see,
Why would you stab frogs?
To eat them.
Oh, okay.
Frog leg.
I've had frog legs, but I didn't know that you gigged the frog before you fried it or whatever.
Now
Thanks
you know.
for the call.
Now we
appreciate
know.
it.
Thanks for the call, David. 855-450 free. We'll talk more about frog gigging, probably over my dead body. But we're going to talk about more things that are very interesting. 855-450 free. This is Free Talk Live.
Bacon lovers, we ship free. Try our amazing bacon. No refrigeration required. Proprietary value-added packaging provides 10-year shelf life and protects the leanest, thickest, center-cut, fully cooked bacon in America today. Ready to eat right from the pouch or warm and serve. Savory and delicious. Wholesale price for your everyday use. Order today at readytoeatbacon.com. readytoeatbacon.com.
Complement your health with hemp-derived cannabinoid oil. We've always believed that the closer to Earth, the better it is for our bodies. Our hemp-derived cannabinoid oil is phytocannabinoid-rich, full-spectrum, and organically grown. Finally, hemp made easy, clean, and effective. GCNhemp.com or call 877-878-4203. That's right, we cut through the red tape. It's now available at GCNhemp.com or call 877-878-4203.
Excuse me, is this where I get a license to start a new business?
I wouldn't be hasty. You have to get a license to go out of business, too, you know.
Oh, well, look, I've invented this little anti-gravity machine, see?
Oh, is that why you're walking 2 inches above the floor?
Oh, yes, it's very comfortable. It saves on shoe leather.
Yeah, well, you have to fill out these forms and report to the Human Services Department of Manpower Orientation and register with the Fair Employment Practice Commission, the Wage and Hour Division of the Employment Standards Administration, the State Sales and Income Tax Division, the Internal Revenue Service, and the Social Security Administration of the Department of Health, Education, and Welfare, and, of course, OSHA.
OSHA? I thought that was a little town in Wisconsin.
You'll find out. Say, floating around like that could be dangerous. Have you checked with the Consumer Product Safety Commission?
Well, not yet.
Come to think of it, you actually are flying, aren't you? Look, you need to go over to the Federal Aviation Administration and the Transportation...
It's very hard to get anything done these days if you're in business, but free enterprise built this country. Think what could happen if we don't keep it free. A public service of this station and the Center for the Defense of Free Enterprise, Bellevue, Washington.
We just can't have people floating about unregulated, you know.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in Liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Don't you hate that feeling in the pit of your stomach when the police pull you over? Most people have no idea how to handle it properly, and they promptly get fed into the municipal fee-generating meat grinder. Or maybe you recall that feeling you get when you go to the mailbox and see one or more letters from the IRS. You get a sense of impending doom, don't you? So let me ask you, If you could learn how to use the law to beat the IRS, traffic tickets, almost any courtroom scenario, collectors, credit card debt, and even mortgage debt because of fraud perpetrated against you, would that be worth knowing about? Don't laugh. Investigate. Check out the life-changing benefits of the Lighthouse Law Club at their website, lighthouselaw.club. That's lighthouselaw.club. And while you're at it, visit the Lighthouse Law Club YouTube channel. You might be in for a pleasant surprise.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live, 855, 450 free. In hour number 3 tonight. Hour number 2. Let me see. 7 to 8 to 9. That'd be our second hour or third hour?
Third hour.
Are you asking where we are now?
In studio, it's Chris, who is having a minor stroke.
I'm Ian.
And Rich Paul.
See, now we've done away with all the silliness, and we're just back
Does
to
CBD
Rich Paul.
help with strokes?
I hope so.
I'm counting
it would
on certainly
it to,
lubricate.
I'm counting on it to save my life. But one thing I do want to take a moment to do is to put a little shout out to Eric Haley, because he is a silver amplifier. Thanks, Eric. Our amplifier program stands for advertise, market, and promote, and certain people like Eric like to throw us a couple bucks. In this case, $5 a month he's pledged to pay. That goes into our amplifier program. We use that money to promote the ideas of liberty and to market this show to more radio stations, and that's a good thing. The more people that can hear these ideas, we think, the better off we're all going to be. So thank you, Eric, for your pledge of $5 a month. To find out more, you can go to amplify.free.
AMP.freetalklive.com.
Thank you, Ian. Amp.freetalklive.com and do your part. I'm an amplifier. I just kind of.
You're an amp.
I am. I realized that when they actually put it on the schedule for me to thank myself one time because we periodically do this stuff. But right now, who I wanted to thank was the American Journal of Psychiatry, because not a lot of mainstream groups or peer-reviewed journals have taken the time to actually publish their findings on marijuana or anything even remotely related. Cannabidiol, or CBD, is remotely related in that CBD is found in the marijuana plant, but it's also found in the hemp plant. The hemp plant does not have THC, or delta-9
tetrahydrocannabinol?
Cannabinol, yeah, that would be the full name of it. The THC is what gets you high. CBD does not get you high. It provides no real feeling whatsoever, but there is indications that it does provide health benefits. And it does seem that pretty much, at least across the United States, CBD is kind of blown up as like the latest sort of health craze. You know, this thing you can take and it will solve everything. I don't think it's going to solve everything.
I doubt that. It is a bit of a craze, it seems like.
It is, but I think for certain things, and I can speak just for myself, when I take CBD, I tend to be a little less anxious, a little
How do you
focused.
ingest it? Because I only just recently heard about the flowers. I didn't know that you could smoke hemp flowers. I didn't even know that was a thing. Normally, I'm seeing it in like edibles or creams, or like, what is your preferred?
So I do it two ways. Terpenes, which is one way that you can ingest CBD. It's a liquid derived from the flowering portions of hemp, or from marijuana, actually. Terpene.
It's like a tincture. You put it under your tongue?
Yes, you take it sublingually. Thank you. That's the way I usually do it, but lately I've been adding it to my vape. So,
really? So there's like an oil or some kind of juice?
Yeah, it's a vegetable oil based, just like vapes are, but I throw a few drops in whenever I reload my vape.
Now, this is different from the tincture? The tincture is a different concoction?
Correct. Yep. So one is taken sublingually. That hits me much sooner, but again, it's not like I'm walking around high.
No.
There's nothing like that, but it does seem to reduce my stress. I don't feel as stressed out as I normally do.
Like on a scale of 1 to 10, if your stress is on a 10, what does this take you down to, an 8?
Probably.
Yeah. Okay.
Just on
Takes
a
the edge off?
ballpark. It does. That's a good way of describing it. It's not like I'm not bouncing off the walls or anything, but I just feel like sometimes if you're a small business owner, you'll know what I'm talking about.
You get a lot on your plate.
You always have a lot on your plate, and sometimes it's easy to get just sort of in this loop where you're not getting anything done. It does help me sort of calm down and help concentrate a little bit. So I find it useful. In this case, what they did was they took a group of 42 people who were addicted to heroin, and they were attempting to abstain. They were trying to quit. And what they did was, first of all, they were showing them cues. Pictures, in this case, videos and pictures of people using heroin or objects involved in drug use, like syringes. Before the lab session, participants received either a dose of CBD or a placebo. Participants who received CBD reported experiencing lower drug cravings in response to the cues, as well as lower anxiety compared with those who received the placebo.
Okay, now that's interesting. It's nice to see some studies being done here to where, if a bunch of people are swearing by CBD, there's placebo effect going on.
Exactly.
But when you get a good scientific study like this, now what was the sample size? You said it was relatively small, right?
42 people with the initial one.
It's not the smallest, but it's not gigantic either.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, being able to actually have results from CBD while you also have people on a placebo is encouraging.
What's more, the effects appear to be somewhat durable, lasting up to a week before participants took CBD again, or lasting up to a week after they took it.
Wow.
Still, the results are far from definitive. The researchers did not examine whether CBD actually prevents drug relapse outside of a laboratory setting, and so future studies are needed to answer
it's not going to prevent
question.
it. Okay, it's going to maybe give somebody a minor adjustment in how they're approaching things. But if their life is so crappy that no amount of CBD is going to overcome the desire to escape that, and that's ultimately what drives a lot of drug addiction.
I think that's true. Although I'll tell you, I've always, when I was selling weed, I would always tell people who were trying to get off heroin, if you come by the house, I'll smoke with you, And
if they're trying to get off, then that's
and that's the thing. Yeah, nothing will sober up an addict who doesn't want to be sober.
Right. And in that example, you were providing them with CBD. CBD is part of marijuana.
What surprises me is that I assumed that what they were getting was a certain level of relief from getting low-grade high, not necessarily as high as you might get from heroin, but they get a little relief for a while. So it's really interesting to me to find out that it's at least in part the non-psychoactive part that works, because the thing is, people in AA or NA generally aren't cool with smoking weed, but they might be cool with CBD, and that might give them a little more edge.
Well, yeah, and we do have to, as we talk about all these studies, we have to keep in mind all the people that have overdosed from marijuana and be very, I'm sorry, that number's 0.
Yes, it's true.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah, heroin has killed lots of people, and lots of addictions have killed lots of people. Marijuana has not, and neither has hemp or anything else of that family.
I'm imagining a cartoon of a killing contest.
Yeah.
Marijuana is still getting shut out.
So the long and the short of this is there are more studies planned, and that's good news. We want to see more research into these things. For the longest time, they could not be researched because the federal government declares and still declares that marijuana itself
has no medical benefit.
No medical benefit. It's a Schedule I drug. It is comparable to heroin, and things. It's just more government insanity. 855-450-FREE. We've got a couple more things to share with you, but we still got time for your calls. So give us a call. Again, 855-450-FREE. This is Free Talk Live.
Would you like to hang out with Penn Jillette? He's keynoting Freedom Fest this year. I, for one, am thrilled. Freedom Fest is the largest liberty-oriented gathering in the world. They take a Big Ten approach with libertarians, conservatives, liberals, anarchists, capitalists, and just open-minded people mingling together to hear real debates, share real solutions, and converse freely. This year's theme is the Wild West, a time of liberty and opportunity, or a time of anarchy and violence. Maybe both. Go to freedomfest.com/FTL and get your tickets now. freedomfest.com/FTL. Not convinced yet? Hey, I understand. It's a high-end event. Even with coupon code FTL50. Sure, you're likely to receive investment advice that'll make that sum seem paltry, but I have something special for you. Go to freedomfest.com/FTL and you'll get the 5 best speeches from last year for free. Call it a test drive. Do yourself a favor and go to freedomfest.com/FTL. freedomfest.com/FTL.
Gene, are you there?
On your life and your livelihood, even if it's not true. Fortunately, you can now.
Hey, Gene, you there?
I am here.
Excellent. We will be with you in just a moment.
All right, thanks.
800-831-0771 for your free reputation analysis. If you have negative material from an ex-employee, upset patient, or former client, newspaper article, legal issue, social media, or other source showing up in your search results, you can combat it with reputation. Experts in patented technology can help make your online search results look their best. Call 800-831-0771 to learn more. 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this, right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it.
Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Maybe time for your calls. But we've been talking CBD and a recent study through the Journal of American Psychiatry finding that CBD seems to reduce the anxiety that a lot of people who are addicted to heroin are going through when they're trying to quit. It seems to be helping that. And this is, again, a small-scale study. They recognize that they need to do larger studies. Unfortunately, now...
we used to call this the marijuana maintenance program. I had a roommate who... I've had similar experiences with you, or not with you, but as you. Nobody. But a roommate of mine was addicted to opiates at one time, and he was shooting up and doing the whole thing. And he put himself on a marijuana maintenance plan. This was his term that he used for it, and it helped him kick opiates. I mean, it's just a fact.
That's nothing to be taken lightly.
No. Nobody knows the trouble he's seen.
Too good. We're going to go to the phones where we've got Gene, the Christian anarchist. Gene, the Christian anarchist. You're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
Yeah. Hi. We're talking on the Discord about the 1960s and the hippie generation, the peace love generation.
Hold on, Gene. Were you the only one who remembered that?
I do remember it. I'm sure there are others who remember it.
Not the ones who were doing it.
I say that I've lived through two great movements in my lifetime. One is the peace love generation, and the other is the Ron Paul revolution, which was torpedoed by the media. But see, and that's the difference. In the 60s, the peace love movement had the support of the media. The media was behind what we were doing, trying to end the war, and behind what Timothy Leary was writing and questioning authority. And it was all, we actually made a change. The people actually stood up and stopped the war. But and they challenged the way people were thinking. And to this day, that still affects us. It's affecting how we look at things. But the Ron Paul revolution was actively torpedoed in the media. And there's all kinds of videos that you can go look up on YouTube.
Have you seen the Jon Stewart video where he asks, why is Ron Paul like the 13th floor of a hotel?
Yep.
I love that thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you're exactly right. That's what turned me into an anarchist. I was a Constitution thumping, flag waving libertarian.
Yep.
Until I realized that the game is rigged, and is rigged on every level, and it's designed to be rigged and to stay rigged.
Yeah.
And that's when I just said, well, we're just going to have to burn it to the ground then.
Well, I feel your anger there, because I also did that. But see, I was an anarchist prior to that. The first time I called Free Talk Live, I identified as the Christian anarchist, and that was, I think, 2004. But then when Ron Paul ran, I had to give it another shot. I had to give it another go. And I was so angered and upset by what I saw happening to that wonderful man that I then just flipped right back to my full anarchy mode. And, I don't think I'll ever
to me,
back.
Though, there's no violation of anarchy in voting. Voting is just expressing an opinion, and you have a right to express your opinion.
There's a question of how much good it does.
There is a question of how much good it does.
But that's up to you to decide, not up to me to tell you.
Yeah, and I think it does a lot of good, especially in New Hampshire, for a number of reasons. The first thing is there's a well-known effect in the marketing that's called the bandwagon effect, when there's a movement, people want to get on board it. People who would normally be apathetic want to say, okay, I'm gonna come out and do something about this. So anything you can do to increase the perceived number of libertarians in society makes us more credible.
Yep, that's true. That's part of the reason why the Free State Project and the migration, the New Hampshire Liberty migration, is a good idea, because the more of us there are in a given geographic area, the more likely the average person is going to come across the ideas of freedom more often. They're going to hear about it on the radio. They're going to see it, maybe one of their coworkers at work, somebody at the church that they go to. They're going to start hearing the same ideas coming from different voices, and then it'll become more legitimate, and eventually we're going to see people who are going to say, oh yeah, I always agreed with you guys.
Exactly.
And that's the Overton window. And in some cases, they won't be lying.
That's probably true.
And to this day,
go ahead.
To this day, I still like to support those people that are for liberty. So I will put my money and my efforts behind anybody that stands up for liberty, that would, like Justin Amash and the others that are actually trying to make a change. I do support those kind of people, and I will go out and pull a lever for them if it comes to that, but I really don't expect it to make much difference. But if enough people were to pull that lever, then of course, that's going to make a difference.
Yeah.
So all of those tools are available to us.
I think while voting has some importance to some people, we can't lose. We can't keep that from us doing our part to talk to other voters. I mean, in the end, this is our system of government. In the end, we still have this thing called the state, and it has certain rules that if you want to affect change, you can do it in a couple different ways. I say fight them on every front. Go ahead.
We've got the 3 boxes, and I don't want to use that last box just yet. So right now I'm using the soapbox, and we can use that ballot box if you want, even though it's not terribly effective. I hate to get to the ballot, to the cartridge box, but that's
the other reason that I keep voting is I don't want to say that it got to a shooting war and I didn't trouble myself to take 10 minutes to vote every time I got the chance.
It's a good point. Yeah,
that's right.
And I think so. And you'll find a lot of people on, well, depending on who's president, you'll hear people on both sides of the aisle going, man, we're headed to a civil war.
So if nobody ran for president, would you vote for him?
I would. I tweet that often.
Vote.
Nobody, 2024.
Nobody cares. Nobody tells the truth. Vote for nobody.
Nobody will end all the wars. Nobody cares about the poor. Nobody loves you when you're down and out. And nobody knows the trouble you've seen.
It's got
He's got my vote.
It's got infinite possibilities. Gene, thanks for your call. I appreciate it.
I'm still back in Supreme Nobody 2020.
Supreme Nobody.
Meaning Vermin Supreme.
Yeah, I was
going
to say, oh yeah, that would be
wouldn't it be a great ticket?
Right?
Supreme Nobody. That's not just any nobody.
No, that's nobody with some name recognition.
Yeah. Now, Vermin Supreme is like a regular vermin with sour cream and olives. Is that it?
That's how you get Vermin.
No, he's
Supreme.
the king of all vermin. He's the top vermin.
Oh, okay.
He's the supreme vermin.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. It cracks me up.
Of all politicians, he's the...
So I'm used to hearing Vermin Supreme in my circles. I talk to you guys. We're going to joke about the last thing Vermin Supreme said. And people I know, people
what did he say?
In more liberty-minded circles, but...
Something about ponies.
It slays me when I see him being reported on in mainstream media, and the guy always shows up in New Hampshire.
Yep. He'll be coming back.
He'll be coming back.
He was at Area 23 last week.
Really?
Oh, I have no doubt. Yeah, I did see that on.
Was he doing a
Facebook.
campaign fundraiser? What was he up to?
I don't know, but Garrett took a picture of him, and another guy took a picture with him.
All right.
I'm sorry, not of him, but with him.
He's very photogenic.
He is, and you're gonna see reporting on him on Fox News. You're gonna see reporting of him in MSNBC. It's crazy, and I'm
Well, he's been running for president for a long time. I mean, this is not his first rodeo.
Decades?
More than that, yeah.
Yeah,
I sent him a message and told him that nobody needed his endorsement, but he may not have understood that.
See, this is sort of the problem with your name, is it?
Well, yeah. The side effect may be that after 2 years of being nobody, I'm going to be quite mad.
Right.
I mean, madder.
Like a hatter, or mad as an angry?
Like a hatter.
Okay.
Like a hatter. I mean, the reason being that is grammatically confusing, and
that's part of the fun.
Those who don't speak clearly don't think clearly. So I might need some detox after doing this.
There you go. Well, that's all we have for you tonight, but stay tuned and see what comes up tomorrow night. Free Talk Live, we do this every day. 855 450 free. Call that number tomorrow. This is Free Talk.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's